Good morning, afternoon, evening. We have quite the show today, and part of that is because Sam is not hosting this tonight. You have me, Eptron. Uh, certain certain stream aspects are kind of new for me to control, so heads up, this is going to be very scuffed, but hopefully not too scuffed. I have with me our analysts, and I will undeafen in a moment. As soon as I check some other things really quickly, here we go. All right, so I'm undeafening now. Hopefully the guys aren't going too wild right now.
Was it better TTV?
Oh, he's on. Oh, he's here.
Oh shit! Fuck!
Hey
He told us
guys.
to be quiet. He
What's
told us to be
up?
quiet.
It's okay. It's okay. So I have today with us Isa, Diaxon, and Craw. Say hi in that order, please.
Hi, it's Isa back again, like always, because I have no life.
Hello.
Yep.
Oh my god, guys.
So unfortunately, I don't have the VTuber stuff set up for you guys individually, so we're just gonna have to go with what we got here. I'm gonna.
Oh man, I was gonna face cam. Fuck.
I put my makeup on for this.
It might have been an emergency situation stream, so
Yeah, just a little. Sam got caught up with some real life things. So, that being said, we have Dhuum and Xera for today. What are we excited for?
nothing.
Doom. Doom, not Xera.
People are
No, there's a
excited
lot
for
to talk about
bosses.
on both bosses. But yeah, I don't know.
Xera's fine. It's just
Oh no!
we got the unfortunate draw this week, and I think most teams would agree
What?
that you have two pre-event bosses, which can be a little annoying, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
Probably know I spend most of my time on Doom in the pre-event. It's the most fun part.
that doesn't sound successful normally. Normally, you want to spend the least amount
No.
of time there.
Yeah, pre-event simulator's never fun.
Anyways, I think if we go on to Doom, it's always a good idea to talk about what's interesting about this boss. Doom is notoriously difficult to learn if you're learning the boss. Probably one of the hardest bosses people generally learn, and there's good reason for that. There are some mechanics that are just difficult to learn at first. They're not obvious what they are. Usually like the lesser death mark or the greater death mark, depending what those are, stripping boons from you at the same time as getting all those boons, knocking you back, grabbing your soul, going up for greens, doing the greens that are randomized, and sometimes getting screwed over by that. There's just a lot that can screw you over on this boss. Now, in this, we're probably going to be seeing lower healers. Normally, in like a pug group, you might have 2 or 3 if you're really pushing it. But we're probably going to see single healers that are probably kiting the messengers. There's also enforced stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff in this fight. It's pretty mechanic heavy fight. So,
All
but
right.
once you get to the boss past the pre-event, it basically becomes a golem. So.
All right, so chatters, like I said, because we're down, Sam. I'm controlling both the front end and the back end, so please have patience. That is going to be the theme of this,
Wow.
the
Greedy
theme of
Eva.
this broadcast.
And Evo,
Listen.
start the presentation, please. I'm waiting for the first person, for the first
So
video.
our
Yeah, I'm ready
first-
to watch some POVs.
All right, so our first team is the Drunken Quaggins, and well, what do we got for this composition here?
I'm just gonna chime in and say this is actually, when I was looking through all the descriptions, this is the team I'm most excited for, and I hope some of you are in chat, and this is absolutely not sarcastic whatsoever. They said that their Doom Tribe was primarily about getting a kill, because this is their first time as a collective group, this 10-man squad, getting a Doom kill together, and that's pretty freaking awesome, that the Raid League pushed you guys to doing something like that, and I think everyone in chat can agree that we're all probably pretty proud, regardless of, you know, where this lines in the rankings.
It's
Alright,
nice seeing the hollow with pinpoint. Probably going to be pretty common. A more modern comp choice, having a hollow or a scrapper with pinpoint to buff your Condi damage by 100 for 5 people.
So you'll notice that we are going to run at double the speed. We're also going to skip the pre-event. I've got the timestamps for all of those, and as these guys pointed out, they've got a really interesting composition. One of which is this Tempest as their tank.
We mentioned we're probably going to be skipping pre-events because they're boring as shit, so Yeah. Sorry to swear,
It's
but I
just-
mean,
you're,
it's just
you're
true.
just watching people run in a circle. So, yeah, pre-event, not worth watching.
I mean, no, when you're watching the Tempest POV, is whenever they go into Earth, the round, and they press 4, that extends all boons for 10 people by, I think it's 2 seconds. Just something to note, so you can run higher and lower boon duration. I shouldn't say higher, lower. Now, this is their first kill, so they're probably not doing that, but it's nice to add a little extra boon to everyone, especially when you can drop alacrity pretty easy due to some mechanics in this fight. I really appreciate Eye of the Storm here. I hope they use it during the greater death mark. Yeah, so getting super speed during the greater when it's pulling you in, so nice.
Zoom, zoom.
So this Doom's at 40%. Once he's 30%, he'll start the next mechanic will he'll start trying to steal boons from me by turning around and stealing them. Honestly, the thing is, this boss really becomes a golem after a certain point.
That was quite the low HP there with the last second slice and then being pulled up though.
I will say
Yeah.
though, like they are probably 20 to 30% ahead, health-wise, of like what most pug groups would be at this stage in the fight.
Oh, for sure.
So this is like for a first-time kill, this is actually pretty like incredible, and they should be proud of this.
I think possibly.
One thing
Sorry, I think like one thing that you mentioned is like one of the more impressive things is that this is their first time killing Doom, and then they're also trying to speedrun at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it's not that slow. It's actually fine. If this is their first kill, it's not bad at all.
They also mentioned that they had a heated discussion about sauerkraut during their kill, and I would like for
That super
someone
speed
to
going out,
elaborate
though.
that.
That
in
super
chat.
speed going out is so cool to see. People run out faster.
And they got the one
So
burn
one-
on the end as well.
One thing I know about that is they didn't have, at least the Tempest didn't have quickness, which you can channel those things to the end faster.
What?
But they had super speed running out, so.
That was weird. Our next group is Pragmatic Raiding, with a time of 5 minutes and 41 seconds. Let me just grab the log, and then actually I'll put you guys on the POV first, so you can talk about
This
it.
is a really interesting comp.
Yeah, and they dropped the druid, and they dropped the warrior. They mentioned they like explicitly dropped the warrior because of a Condi comp, but I think banners are still worth it in a Condi comp. It just depends on like the gap between what a banner warrior would be doing and like the top DPS, which is only really like a thing in like Mirage
I
comps.
think I got the
I will-
correct log in there.
You don't make
Yeah,
as
I
much
will-
value out of like the precision and ferocity power, but
Yeah. So generally, Condi, well, you get some for precision, but not very much. But still something.
yeah.
The main thing is the Condi damage. So usually it's exactly what the accent's saying. If the warrior does far too little damage, compared to the usually Mirage, to be honest, then it's not worth bringing it. But in this case, I think it is worth bringing in BS.
Who else is gonna do the green one? You know?
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I think they have both soul beasts on a green.
Yeah, they mentioned in their description that they have a Soul Beast Kiter doing a green, Quick Brand Tank doing a green, and then another Soul Beast.
Yeah, even on side tank, they pushed it to like 50% for them first suck. It's pretty impressive.
I wish this
the
Herald
Soul
was running
Beasts,
Hammer.
the Soul Beasts themselves, they are pretty mobile if they're running the Gazelle pet, so that's not unexpected at all.
How big is the difference between time-wise between throwing and wall tanking? It just depends on your comp.
Yeah, I was gonna mention it on the first time we saw Throne Tank, but essentially you can tank right when he spawns instead of pulling him over to the side. And the benefit of that is that you gain the DPS time that he would be walking to you instead of walking. You can just hit him immediately. But to figure that out, you need to also stealth the enforcers in order to get, stealth the
yeah.
Reapers in order to get the enforcer to walk over to you. And then everyone has to like move and deliberately position for the Doomfire when it drops.
You also have to be very careful with not having the lesser death mark on top of the green that needs to be launched out.
Usually it's not necessarily the green that you're trying to get off, you're trying to get it out of some center, because you start getting pulled for greater, you can get hit by the lesser. Usually it won't block the green, because it usually just goes in the middle of the area.
I can't control the transitions and everything at once, so I'm just going to ignore the transitions from now on. So our next group, though, is Relax and Ignore DPS. They're at rank 14 with a time of 5 minutes and 40 seconds, so just 1 second faster than the previous group here.
A much
Perfect.
more standard comp here, like just a druid single healer. And I like the addition of the Hollowsmiths instead of a different
Scrappers.
quickness source. Because, oh, sorry, yeah, scrappers. Same thing.
It's gonna take you a second
Same thing
to
except one has a
reload.
hammer. Because they have super speed, they have protection, they have really steady quickness compared to like a firebrand.
And they're pretty damn good damage for a quickness
Yep,
source.
true. Really survivable
Yeah.
with the 7k barrier.
Which is kind of interesting to me because like, we were I've been in the Snowcrows Discord and like there was discussion that it's maybe not as strong as like say a power STM chrono, but I don't even know anymore to be honest.
Well, so in a Condi comp, it's almost definitely more powerful because you can bring pinpoint distribution, and the bench is already pretty close. So it's not like we're going like way out of the way here to get extra pinpoint distribution. There's a throne tank lesser that DX mentioned earlier, by the way.
I do have a quick question actually. If it's a Condi comp though, why wouldn't you just use Firebrand still? Because the Firebrands also provide like, if I'm not incorrect, still more damage.
It's because of the buff that Crawl mentioned, PD or pinpoint distribution, which gives, and I don't know the exact number. I think it's 180.
150 still, I
100?
think. Or it's 100? Okay.
It's 100 Condi damage to everyone
Make
in
sure
your
quick.
in your party. It's a 5-man buff, and
100,
so
yeah.
that enhances all other people in your subgroup. And a Firebrand can't bring that. Now, Firebrand, on the other hand, can bring some other stuff. Obviously, the obvious ones are like Aegis and Stand Your Ground if you need it.
Fury.
Fury, yeah, scrappers have a big Fury issue. Firebrands also bring, like Tome 2 for some, free healing and Condi cleanse and stuff. Tome 3, which also helps a lot with swiftness and protection for 10% specifically on Doom. But it kind of really depends, if you can make up those buffs or boons when you need them versus the pinpoint, which is a little bit more aggressive option.
You mentioned
Speaking
Condi
of-
cleanse, like. I know, for me, I know that's important, but for someone who has not done Doom and is watching this for the first time, like, why would Condi cleanses be important here?
In case
Yeah.
someone touches a crack and gets feared. No,
Bro,
no. At the soul split, he pushes everyone back from their soul and gives them 6 torment. So if you don't get that cleanse, you're gonna get shredded.
And it's some pretty high damage
So
torment.
that's one of the main reasons you see a lot of Scourge here. Like the barrier obviously helps, especially if you're running no healer, but it also has cleanse on the F2 for 3 players.
Alright, our next group is Codicus Ministry at 5 minutes and 26 seconds. This looks to be another condition-based comp. They are rank 13.
We've also,
like-
looks like, dropped the druid, or dropped the healer in general from this comp.
Yep.
Yeah,
They have a little bit of a hybrid Scourge kind of thing. Kiter.
So like a plague doctor?
I think Plague Doctor, if I had to guess.
that rain plague doctor. Embrace
They mentioned it's their first time throne tanking, so we'll see their
Embrace-
positioning and everything.
the Selly.
Yeah, but Selly makes you tank, so you gotta kind of
I
Win
don't
the
think
options
Celestial
there.
does anything for Scourge.
Anyways,
we have
yeah,
we have
some
Arana
earlier-
Springs in the chat saying it's not full DPS.
the
No, it is full DPS. Okay.
it is good to
Oh.
mention, like, again, Scrapper. It's a much more modern take. This didn't used to exist like 6 months ago as a viable quickness source plus giving PBD just because of a lot of changes. I think we're going to see a lot of Scrapper in both Doom and Xera just because it's kind of taken over the role of Firebrand and Chrono in a lot of ways just because
Well,
of what
and-
it brings.
And to a certain extent, even if the value is like the same, it might be just kind of a flavor thing. People might just take it instead because it's new, and they're kind of sick of playing the same old roles.
I mean,
It
I
is
kind of
way
like
more
playing
fun.
Chrono and Firebrand, but at the same time, you can't really underestimate the survivability of just constant self-barrier.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it and it's basically operating like its health pool is 14k, but it's basically has 21k health, and effectively
With
more
constant
because
healing.
every time it hits, it's getting more barrier.
Did we just
So
see
the
a
scholar uptime
strange?
is insane.
Did we just see a strange phase thing where Scrapper was
It
about
phased-
to go up to the green and then it phased to 10?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you go up to your green when which is greens by the way every 30 seconds in the fight, someone has to go up to do them. If that happens when the 10% phase happens, you get pulled up and then the game resets you, puts you at the bottom, and you get pulled up again. Usually the timer's really short, but it'll be long again. So that's just it doesn't actually change anything, but it looks like it does.
Well, our next group is Cactus Monkeys. These guys are new to the league, so props to them for coming in. We hope to see you in the next split, etc. And this looks to be a fairly standard composition. Well, I mean, the new standard, I guess.
Yep. So the
Uh,
reason that we're seeing well, it's not the exact comp, but there was recently a C&D patch record kill, and you see a lot of groups emulating that. Because, I mean, this isn't a fight that you need that big of heals. The really only damage pressure, unless you fail mechanics, is the bombs. So Scourge can provide enough barrier to like mitigate that damage.
one question I have. This is surprising to me. I'm surprised we're still seeing so many Scourges. Red does a lot of damage compared to Scourge now, especially after the demonic lore nerfs.
Yeah, but Scourge
So-
also has portal here, so you can like do scripted portals for bombs, or it just helps if you get a personal bomb or shackles. It
Yeah,
also
it's
helps with might.
Yeah, we're not seeing them right now, though. I think so.
Yeah, that's true.
We definitely have
Yeah,
Scourge
you get-
POVs, so we'll definitely have that in the next little while. I just
Oh,
tried
there's
to.
a portal. Never mind. I'm wrong.
You also have barrier as well. Like when you're dropping the healer, the barrier is extremely nice.
And that cleanse, yeah.
You say that, but for the
Well, Ren
past two
has Ice
POVs,
Breaker
we've had
with-
people
with-
go
Mhm.
very, very low to that torment tick that we were talking about.
Well, then maybe you take a Signet of Undeath for the instant res.
But he brings Signet Death anyway on this fight, so.
Yeah. You
yeah, I
don't
was
really
gonna
need
say,
a
I
life
thought
force,
the
especially
standard
if you
was to
have
just
some
bring always
renegades.
bring Signet.
Ooh, that was close to that lesser. Yeah, the Signet Death's not very good here. You're right. I would say Ren does have the Ice Razor DoD combo. For those who know, the last train is in Devastation. That gives, when you replay full, Ice Razor applies a lot of healing. You could probably survive on that, but the other players might not be able to, like the Soul Beast, for example.
Yeah,
I'm
in
surprised not
these
seeing-
comps, the Soul Beast really, when it comes to surviving, relies a lot on its allies. It has a little bit of lifesteal built in, but you really need to help it out.
Well, this group looks like they've replaced the Soul Beast with the Druid, and this group is tried and tested strategies at 5 minutes and 7 seconds at rank 11.
Well, true to their
Speaking of more
name,
Rens,
Druid is a tried and tested strategy, so.
speaking more Rens though, instead of 2 Rens, we have 4. So it's quite a change. The Scourge is top DPS in the script now, so.
I guess one thing we
Spoilers.
didn't even mention when we were comparing like Firebrand and Scrapper is that on this fight you do need, if you're doing Throne Tank stealth, to get the Enforcer to walk to you stacking on Throne. So that can be done by Scrapper. If you don't have Scrapper, then yeah, the Druid is helpful for the stealth.
Well, the scrubbers don't don't have anything for the elite skill slot like that's
Yeah, Mordekaiser's
overly impactful.
Not
Correct?
great.
Yeah, they don't need anything in their elite, so it's free for them to take Stealth Gyro.
Any Mordekait lovers in chat? Hello.
Speaking
No,
of
please
gyros,
don't.
actually, they
Noise.
also, the scrappers in general just also have function gyro, right? So like the scourges will often even keep the Signet of Death and just have the scrappers use their function gyro.
Yeah, I mean, Function Gyro is an on-demand super speed / quickness skill,
That
or
Silverborn is
it's
worth nothing.
a helpful res as well. 2 Scrappers using Function on the same target that goes down, he'll be rezzed up in a couple seconds.
You know, Fidel O in chat. So you're mentioning Citadel Bomber is worse than auto attacking a mace last turn. So I have heard from Contam himself that pressing F3 is always a DPS loss,
Yeah,
no matter what.
on Devaren, it's always a DPS loss.
Who's
So,
On,
Conte?
yeah.
on
Uh,
Invo,
sorry.
on Invo, it's
Conte-
worth it
Don't worry about it.
purely because of energy reason.
Don't worry about
But-
Contam. Sorry, that name doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a legacy name at this point, I think.
Legacy. He only quit like a month ago.
Really,
Too much
I haven't heard from him. So,
It was a while ago, Crawl.
I was playing with him like 2 months ago.
well, I haven't
It
heard.
doesn't matter.
I haven't heard from him specifically myself. Then, so I mean, you're part of his guild. That's a different story, right?
I mean, the thing about F3 and Citadel Bombardment is it's just it even
Well,
when
in Doom
it was
specifically,
worth
it seems pretty bugged at 10%, so it just doesn't get all the hits.
it could just be
Which
because it's,
normally
Yeah.
Citadel Bombardment would be decently high value on this fight compared to other fights because the hitbox is huge, so you don't
Yeah.
really miss many hits.
I mean, we haven't Guild Wars has a thing with the Z-axis, and that could be what's affecting it. But in our next slot, we have Lonely Raiders in your area for at 5 minutes and 4 seconds, at 3 seconds higher, faster than TTS, and they are rank 10. There goes the log, and then we got the... Oops, come on.
So it's very similar to the comp we just saw, except instead of a scrapper, it's a firebrand. I think they're... Oh, go ahead.
I think one of the, I guess I'm going to say unique, but maybe other groups did this as well. They just didn't note it in their description. But one of the unique things reading through their description of their kill is their druid was intentionally kiting messengers close to Doom purely for epi-bounce purposes, which is an old strategy that people used to do for Doom CM a lot with Ender's Echo. So it's kind of nice to see something like that also being adapted into like a
another benefit
speedrun
to
setting.
Scourge.
We want to go way back. People used to epi bounce off of enforcers and spawn extra enforcers just to epi bounce off them. But that's really old.
That was when Epidemic was still broken,
Yes.
wasn't it? Like,
Yes.
Yeah,
that
so
was the
Epidemic
record.
has been nerfed since then. So you do, like, epi bouncing off the enforcers, you do have a significantly reduced effectiveness of those conditions, but it still is a DPS increase for pushing a skill that has, what, like a half a second cast time?
It's really good. Yeah.
Pre quickness?
Yeah, I don't know. But I will say back when so the way epi works now is that whenever you can only do 25 condis, and also I don't know if this was the case before. I know it was the case now. You get 50% of the duration, and so if you're epi bouncing, you epi from one thing to another. That's 50%. You epi back. That's 25%. Plus, you're only getting 25 stacks every condi maximum. But it could be less than that. Usually, confusion's less than that, for instance.
did we talk about this on the previous kills where the Scourges were using the portals backwards so that people could just continue?
I wanted to mention that as well. Yeah, so they're using the portal backwards during the soul split, so people can just like look at the boss and get sucked in while the soul split's happening and still continue like maximum DPS uptime. It's really, really big value.
Really big on Ren because ArenaNet hates Renegade. So Shortbow, none of the skills except for Shortbow 2 work when you're not facing the boss. So you have to be facing the boss. So for a lot of skills, a lot of classes aren't like that. It didn't used to be that way with Shortbow 3, for instance, but now because ArenaNet hates Ren.
They don't hate it. They just over-tuned one portion of it and then had to continually nerf it because people got too good at it. We got our next group here, though, the Cormier Inn. The Cormier Inn is part of the Crossroads Inn. They are a raid training group they've been part of this for a very long time, which we'll touch on a little bit later on in the stream. But for the time being, let's go ahead and watch their POV.
I'm honestly surprised the accent. What do you think the reasons people are bringing Power Warrior over Condi on this fight with these comps?
Good question. Well, okay, so
Oh boy.
Uh-oh. Did we open a can of worms?
honestly, it's kind of less valuable if you're taking a druid, just because one of the main reasons of Power Warrior over Condi Warrior is Fury. Like it's easier to take Elite Banner, even though it's not a huge factor. But obviously, you also self-generate Fury on Power Warrior with like X2s. And if you're Condi, then you won't have that Fury when the banner isn't up, because it does have a lot of downtime. Also, just the Greatsword now is really strong on Power Warrior, so it's really good for baiting shackles.
Why can't you bring the banner on?
You
Condi?
can bring it on Condi, you can. But during the downtime, you will drop Fury compared to Power Warrior, where you have some self-gen.
Something to note, because Diaxa mentioned it earlier about stealthing the Reapers. For any of you who maybe are wondering, like, oh, how does a group without Scrappers normally stealth Reapers? This is going to be a POV that you should go back and watch, because this shows the Druid Kiter, who is the one that's conventionally in charge of doing that job, using the trait Celestial Shadow in Druid, where you stealth your allies when you leave CA.
Or can even use a smoke scale. I know some druids prefer smoke scale, even though I don't.
The downside with the CA version is it is a 10 target cap, and it will prioritize your allies. So if you're too close to the group, or if the group is too far shifted off towards the left, if you're facing the throne, then it will prioritize them over the Reaper. So that's, I think the smoke scale probably comes in handy in those cases, especially control location a little bit better.
For those who don't know, when we're mentioning smoke scale F2 on Druid is a smoke field, and when you drop a smoke field, you can blast it with either Warhorn 5 or Staff 3 or CA3.
Yeah.
Which all will give stealth to the Reaper close by. And when you exit CA, as mentioned, that with Celestial Shadow gives stealth. So those are 2 ways of getting stuff. That's the normal way people did it in the
Yeah,
past.
it's 5 men.
It's
I
also shot-
misspoke.
it's 5 men,
Not
yeah.
10 men. Yeah.
Wait
next-
a second.
Our next
We-
group is Critical Fail at 4 minutes
The
55
Condi
seconds
Weaver.
and
Condi
rank
Weaver.
80, rank 8.
And we're already sub 5 minute Doom kills, which is actually insanely fast.
I'm
This
gonna
is taking me back.
I'm going to double post links here because I think I may have missed In's log. So there's the in log, and then here's the critical fail log. I don't think that we received a Weaver POV for this, unfortunately. So whoopsies.
Probably the one Weaver we're gonna see the entirety of today. I think.
I think we saw another one earlier.
For
Whoopsies.
people
We saw
for
10%.
people to think about how fast this is, the Doom pre-event, like from when you click yes on Desmina to when he steps off the throne, is I believe 2 minutes and 12 seconds. So we're approaching the moment where you spend just as much time in the pre-event as you do on the boss.
I didn't even think about it like
kind
that,
of
and
how
Jesus.
fast the boss is being killed now.
I never even thought about it like that, and oh my god, yeah, that's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
I mean, Craw mentioned it at the beginning of the stream. This boss, like, is a bit of a golem. Like, it's a difficult boss to figure out, but then once you do figure it out and you min-max it, there's not much going on besides the bombs, the shackles, and the greens. And I guess these big attacks, but they're pretty well telegraphed and they're scripted, so...
And once you figure
honestly harder
out...
than the boss.
Honestly, yeah. And once you figure out, like, you can see all the AoEs that he is summoning every time he swipes his scythe. Once you're, like, if your tank's sitting still, once you figure out where those AoEs are spawning, or you know just from previous experience where they're spawning in relationship to his body and his positioning, you don't have to move at all for the entirety of a DPS phase unless you get a bomb or a shackle.
I keep telling my the groups that I train with, Doom, Big Daddy Doom is big. You are tiny. He will just swing you to the scythe over top of you.
Yep. Ooh. The fear and the low health.
So luckily, even though they were low HP there, even if they downed it would make a difference, because when you get the 10% phase, which you can see when
it reses.
You automatically res.
Unless you are low health with shackle when 10% happens. You need to break that shackle. It will kill you.
Wouldn't the shackle, if one person is down with the shackle and the other person is not, and the second person gets lifted up, does that should break it though, right?
Well, they'll both get lifted.
They just break a bit late.
You want to break it
and not break.
Yeah, you've got the bug that where it won't break. Otherwise, it's better to just break it before you go off at 10%.
This is what I want to see. This is what I want to see.
Oh yeah, right. I remember this one now.
The Condi Daredevil.
So yeah, I think we have this. POV lined up.
My only regret is this is Connie Daredevil. Spoilers is running short bow, but that's okay.
Actually, let me first get the log out to them first. This is which group is this?
So the fun thing about Condi Daredevil, and I don't have a ton of experience with it, so Deaxon and Craw might be able to chime in if I say something incorrect here. But Dagger 3 and dodging is pretty much their main source of like active damage. You have venoms and stuff that you use, I'll call it passive damage. But all of their active damaging skills are evades, and you can just sit under Doom during the soul split mechanic when he's in the middle and effectively dodge all of that damage and do a full DPS rotation on.
Sorry, by the soul split you mean the suck portion, right?
Yeah, the suck portion.
There are 2 soul splits technically lesser as well, but nobody usually understands that because it's pretty obvious AoE.
Yeah, so this POV is not the Connie Daredevil, but I do think we have one coming up.
I do want to say as a PSA to all the Connie Daredevil lovers and just in general, World Finish lovers, ArenaNet, please fix Dagger 3. It's supposed to finish 3 times. We can see it finishing 3 times, but it doesn't finish 3 times in a field. There are a few skills like that. I have a list out there. If you're ever curious, someone please make it known. It should be finishing 3 times, not once, and it is finishing once at the moment. So thank you. Anyways, back to this. Connie Daredevil's great. It's not a buff. It's how it used to be, and it's a bug right now. There's a few skills like it.
Here you see the fire, like one of the advantages of bringing firebrands. This player went into Tome 2 shortly before the suck or soul split, and you could see them instantly cleanse their party, and probably honestly had some bleed over and cleanse the other party a little bit there too.
Want to mention also, someone mentioned that Daredevil 3 does not dodge the entire animation. That is true. Right at the end of the animation, there's a bit of a part where you're not dodging. But most of the time you're dodging. Like the vast majority, like maybe 80% of the time.
It's
Yeah, and it doesn't tick constantly, right? Like there's an ICT on the.
Well, the quick
the
run
AoE in the
here,
middle of the Doom
the quick run here like came down late, and they were already able to start the burn because the rest of the 7 members were.
Yeah,
Already
well, you
doing
do
the thing.
want to get him unshielded as quickly as possible. So, like, as soon as 7 people are down, like, you should be zooming out. So you can, like, deliberately have some people stall the orb collection, let other people collect a bit quicker.
Yep.
That way you can just zoom out immediately with the people you want.
And here we have rank 6 at 4 minutes 52 seconds. These guys are also like these guys are brand new specifically to this
Heck yeah.
round. So we're not going to see them on the on any podium for the finale, but at 6th rank for just coming in, that's kind of
NA
They had a
gamers.
little bit of help.
NA gamers.
No, I'm just kidding.
lot
is
of
that an
I'm
insider
not sure
knowledge
if they would
that
credit me,
we're
but I
getting
kind
there?
of
They-
suggested they should join.
They had no help.
Yeah, no, they did this all themselves.
It's kind of neat though, even seeing a new team come in with the more modern tech. I know a lot of these players. Well, I know at least one of them has played the game for a while.
Wait,
And
what is...
Sorry, I need to give me a second here.
Sorry.
And well, I was gonna say one player in this has played for a while, and they're like, if we were to look at really old Doom logs, they'd be completely different. I shouldn't say completely. Like throne tanking is very similar, but the comps would be completely different. The strategies, for example, portals didn't used to be a big thing until Power Chrono became a thing. We didn't used to. I mean, some people didn't have throne tanking. There were just a lot of different things that have changed. Also bells, but we don't talk about bells. But yeah,
Hey, so
interesting banner.
I was gonna say, like, I think a lot of
Li-
other groups had mentioned they brought Quadra banner, but this is the first time we have a POV of a Quadra banner. I think.
The
Unfortunately,
tactics
the
banner.
warrior doesn't do that much damage in this setup. They're really there just to be buffing the team. So yeah, tactics banner just helps everyone's boons more so than a Signet of Might would help their own personal damage. right?
Guys, I have a legitimate
Since they're off the
question
group doing
here.
queens a lot of the times as well.
That's the question I use.
The green circles from Reapers, they're black in this
It's
POV.
It's DX.
It's DX11, yeah.
Okay,
It's
I was
weird.
wondering if I had been playing at the wrong graphics settings for all these years, and they're supposed to actually be black.
You see, I
feel that would make it very difficult.
They were green.
Well, yeah, but maybe we're all wrong.
Fair
Because
enough.
Black Fire does seem like a Doom kind of thing. It's very edgy.
Yeah, but because the mechanic that you have to actually do, that's probably not what they would have intended in the first place.
look at the guild panel.
Yeah, flexing the guild panel.
I like it. I like the Greatsword Warrior too. I mean, I'm not a warrior guy, but that's a relatively new thing. Am I right?
Well, it's a relatively old thing, but
it's pretty old, yeah.
But it's like relatively recently come back.
Yeah.
I guess.
It was big in the Power Chrono days.
And it's really good for baiting shackles there.
So
and
the
mobility
last
from
2
getting back
years?
to your greens and stuff. It's really good.
Yes.
Good.
Well, either way, we've got the next group here, Legendary Inside, 4 minutes 49 seconds, rank 5.
We're just kind of seeing a continuing repeat of the same comps with the
so-
different Scourges and Rens.
Yep. All trying to emulate the C&D kill. It's a really, really good kill. So credit to C&D for there.
Did someone?
Yep, they're even do the same stealth here.
So depending on the timing, you only have to stealth 2 Reapers. However, if you stealth at a certain time, you want to stealth 3 because otherwise the Enforcer will actually go to the one you would never expect it to. It just depends on the timing of when you're actually stealthing it. And Scrapper can stealth 3 really easily, so it's not a big deal.
I don't know if someone in Legendary Inside drew that chat cover, but you're a great artist if you did. That's a pretty awesome picture.
Oh, that's what I mentioned. The last chat cover for the last group. Sorry, I wanted to mention this, but I forgot. It was only 10-minute Doom kill. I say only 10-minute Doom kill. You could do better. All right, thank you.
Wait, what?
Action cam going on here. Interesting.
Wait, what?
There's always one. There's always one action cam and one skill clicking POV every week.
Probably good
every month.
for Scrapper, right? Because he doesn't have AoEs. He's just instantly casting.
Oh, we actually missed it. There was a group earlier that mentioned their Scrapper. I'm not gonna call it the group because I don't want them to be self-conscious if they feel like we're calling them out. But the Scrapper
calling
didn't
them out.
target Doom for literally the whole fight because they were afraid they would yeet themselves away from the greens with Hammer 3 that they were supposed to be going to. And it gave me a quality laugh for a good few minutes.
What does hammer 3 do? I've never pressed that button
That's the
before.
triple
It's a triple
leap.
leap, essentially, like a 1200 range triple leap.
Does it do damage?
Yes, but I don't
Not
think
enough to put into your DPS rotation.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
more of a
I'm
gap
just kidding.
closer.
Yeah. Super speed, like I said, Rapper's really good for the ending here. You get super speed to run out faster. You get quickness to use it faster.
Yep.
You can give yourself prot with F1 and give Global prot with F1. Scrapper just works really well in general. It's got probably the best kit of anything right now for quickness on Doom.
It's a really strong quickness source.
I will say that Scrapper's super speed is not always consistent. Like sometimes it'll be in bursts, and then you have like random low spots. So unconsensual super speed is still not quite there for me personally at least.
It just depends on the rotation.
I mean, there are plenty of times we'll maybe see
I like
it
your
later.
recommended videos, Evo. The waiting for a market crash video. I wonder what that's about.
I don't know. I think I'm signed into the Guild Wars, the Guild Wars 2 Raid League account right now. So
So it's probably just a general recommended.
I mean,
from
I would
YouTube
hope so.
stuff.
Okay, so
Here's your
Firebrand-
Condi Daredevil. Is this
This is
the
Is
full
this the one?
DPS
I don't. Yes. Wait, hang on. Yes, it is.
so
Please
here we
someone's
get
kind
to
of.
see-
I see a very interesting second set of weapons, and there it is.
Wait, what?
Pistol dagger.
Pistol dagger, baby.
I'm assuming that's probably for the
Greater.
suck to
Yeah.
do just spam 3. And
It's also
constantly go
interesting
back.
on some of their Scourges. Only one of Scourges is running staff. It's kind of free damage if you're not
Yeah, you
swapping
can
during a
precast
fight.
it all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just precast it. Yeah, there's no reason not to. I see those marks there that somehow weren't getting triggered, but then got.
Wait,
triggered.
yeah, that chat cover is incredible. That chat.
One thing interesting about this is that, at least I'm pretty sure F2 is a DPS increase. On Doom, when you're stealing, that F2 immobilizes, which I believe does some extra damage due to
They are
immobilize.
using it for the green 3 though, for the mobility.
Well, earlier they used it for DPS.
Yeah.
F2, yeah, the immobilize will give some poison stacks as well.
That's
so
the
it's a-
unstable
They got the
artifact,
messenger
right?
orb there as well to prevent it from
Unstable artifact,
spawning
yeah.
during the soul split. That way they don't have to worry about that. It's
The
kinda
unstable
hard to-
artifact also has the resurrection utility
Yeah.
if they need it.
And pull someone towards you instead of you teleporting them, which is really annoying if you want to teleport somewhere, because then you pull someone out into the middle of nowhere, which is awful. So
I
I'm
think
surprised
the most
they're not
interesting
running
thing
in.
about this kill, or not most interesting, but at least deviated from the last couple kills we saw, is that they do have a druid. Like they still took a dedicated healer and have a time faster than.
They have a
Maybe I'm
really-
crazy, but if I were this kind of Daredevil, I would have run in and pistol dagger 3'd and then repeated spammed.
I
'Cause the shadows
think
are too bad.
I think he precasted Pistol Dagger 3 and stole at the end of the animation. So he
Hmm.
like went in and out like in the same frame almost, and then spammed 3.
Interesting. I wonder what sigils they're running, because usually on Connie Daredevil you run Sigil of Doom, which requires weapon swapping. So you're not running that probably. So you're probably
it's-
running bursting.
Earth bursting probably.
We have Dark Minion 3212 saying yes, that's what they did, and they were the C Condi Daredevil. Malice is almost at no DPS loss.
There you go.
Still a druid, still faster time. Just shows the value of druid sometimes on certain fights.
I mean, is it necessarily the
That's
druid
the
specifically,
role,
or
right.
something else though? Right? Like there could be other factors here.
No, obviously
So-
the druid isn't pushing the time, but like it's just still possible to get such a good time with the druid. Is all I'm trying to say.
So the thing that the druid gives you, I mean, obviously this comp has the Rens and Scourge, so it's built-in survivability, plus scrappers. But the druid pretty much guarantees that you'll have 100% writ uptime or scholar uptime, however you want to refer to it as, which is a pretty big DPS increase. It also
They're
is just
running
kind of a comfort
Yes, they
thing.
are.
Sorry, I think I forgot to mention this, but this is wonderful ideas, poor execution, wipe at 4 minutes 43 seconds.
I would say this is wonderful ideas, wonderful execution, judging by their time, honestly.
Wow.
Well, I can't change their guild name for them, okay?
Maybe they should have 2 guilds, and they, depending on how they do, they rep one or the other.
I don't think that our session bot can handle that, unfortunately.
But one thing that's interesting is that this is just the case with all run rotations. You're almost always gonna get something screwed up in some way because of the nature of this fight, because you're usually running out and by using pressing energy skills. If you swap to Kala, for example, and your Shortbow 3 and 4 are up, it's not worth pressing Shortbow 2. Shortbow 2 is kind of not that great. It's only good because you proc your elite Embrace of Darkness stuff. 3 and 4 are kind of insane. So you want to be pressing those. So if you'll notice that a few times I noticed earlier, this run actually did do that. they press 3 and 4 in Kala, which is still a DPS increase.
That was a lot of deathlings, I think.
They're basically killing
Kill
before.
before the Reaper dies, yeah.
It's a race against the deathlings. You're just DPS racing them, and you can see this POV. They're actually purposefully not grabbing orbs. So, like DX mentioned earlier, the people who are going to be going out to buttons can get orbs first, and then the rest of them can focus on getting them after. And by the time they get down to the boss, Doom is hopefully about to be vulnerable, and they can hit him.
What's the benefit of Sorry, let's introduce the second team, the second place team. 17 elitists, 4 minutes and 38 seconds, rank 2. I am curious what the benefit is of certain classes being late versus ahead, though. Just let me get the POV going.
Survivability and speed of going to the button and like coming back.
So you want your scrap in this comp specifically. You know, I don't remember exactly what wipes was, but it was pretty similar, I think. But in this comp specifically, you would want the scrappers down because they provide super speed and protection.
And protection.
And quickness.
Something genuinely surprising to me here is that they're actually bringing an Alack Mirage.
Yeah, they have a quirky comp.
Yeah.
I think we saw that for other comps ahead of them, but we just didn't have a POV specifically for them, so here we go with that.
Yeah, I know we had other Alack Mirages. I actually am not a fan of this choice. Even though they are second place. I see for the portal, that's probably the reason they're bringing it. I still don't know if it's worth it.
Yeah, so like they dropped a Scourge, they only have one Scourge portal, but then they have the Mirage portal. And then I guess that means that the Renegades don't have to press F2 at all for might. The Scourges aren't required for might.
Does not Connie Daredevil receive more damage, a damage boost if for conditions? So
which, by the way, if they fix that bug I mentioned earlier, it would do more damage. But because that bug still exists, it does less damage here.
Scrapper also gets that buff.
From World Finisher, so from the Hammer too. But the thing is, their Condis aren't as big. They're not even close to the same damage, so it's a little different. But yeah.
So the one
Mirage
big...
also have to worry about having regen for maximum like boot uptime and DPS uptime, which they do seem to have. They probably have like the
oh my god, that bomb was really close.
They probably have the self-generating trait, and I would think maybe the Soul Beast is bringing Heal Spring to help with regen, because they're in. They're in different subgroups, so maybe not.
So I'm just gonna say it right now. If the Dagger 3 on Connie Daredevil is fixed, I think this would be first place. I'm just gonna say it out loud. You know, it's just a fact.
Come at me, Gronk. Come at me.
Are you sure, Gronk?
Hey, no, I'm not. I'm just fucking joking. But.
Oh, they had a death and now they're not even. This is quite unfortunate. I didn't see what happened there, but.
Well, I mean, when we're looking at the time comparison, like, we're looking at a difference of from 438 to 429.
POV? Do you mind watching it at a?
Yeah, I think we have time for that. So I don't.
Yeah, this is a lot to talk about.
Just let me get this all set up here. Remember, I'm running this.
Yeah,
I'm flying solo.
I'll let DX run with this. It's my POV. If he skips over something, I'll just smack him later.
I'll run it a little bit faster still as soon as the quality gets put back up.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm honestly blinking, but so we have 2 scrappers, right? They're both stealthing and deliberately stealthing all the Reapers essentially instead of that one that's normally at heart. That way, most of the deathlings go there, so that Star has alleviated pressure from it, and also the messengers go there, so that the Soul Beast can hit the messengers on his way to the green. In order to also make sure that there's no like extra messengers during the pre, so there's not like 3 messengers. Like the green 3 has to get a messenger orb. We're also getting 1 messenger orb in the pre-event to make sure that we get an early messenger spawn during the soul split. That way the warrior can grab it during the soul split, and then he keeps it kind of near the boss so we can epi-bounce on it. Yeah, no left on Connie Daredevil. This comp is like doesn't have much wiggle room because you need the Renegades for might, you have the Scourges for might, portals.
We also tried, me and Luna's the warrior, he and I tried to grab as many shackles as possible because we were already cucking our DPS in other ways, so it was better for us to grab them.
Then perfect POV there with the shackle bait into bomb portal. So the portals are really deliberate here. The first one is just to get the first bomb out, and that one actually blows up early to make sure the rest of the bombs have like perfect timing with the greens. So we use a portal to get green 2 back to the boss, while also using that same portal to get a bomb out. And then same with green 3. We're using a portal to get someone to green 3 with the bomb. And then when someone gets down from the green 3, they call for the portal. They take the portal back, and the person who has the bomb in the group takes the same portal out and blows up immediately, takes the portal back. So 0 DPS loss.
Yeah, seeing a soul beast run shortbow and run frostbeard just hurts my soul.
Yep.
I was going to point that out. I was like, this is a Condi soul beast, not a power soul beast. So having the spirits
Correct.
like
Yeah, when
losing
you,
that
when you want to
utility.
take double spirit, Connie Soul Beast is typically the better option. Like they lose the least. Their utility skills aren't as important as power or hybrid even.
Sunspirit's not that big of an DPS loss because you drop Viper's Nest for it, and Sunspirit Act is not the worst thing in the world. Frostspirit's a DPS loss because you're losing sharpening stones.
Yeah. Well, in Sun Spirit, you also get the active, which is some burning. And I was able to precast that in many areas of the fight, so I got free burning damage for no loss whatsoever.
Yeah, we even did a ready check reluctantly. I really didn't want to, but it works.
So I'm more Evo's swapping stuff over. Just waiting since a ready check. So at the end, seven people of the 10 need to run out and press one of those buttons at the side. So can't remember what they're called. And usually what groups will do when they're learning is that they'll or they're like new to it, I should say, or newer. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be mean to anyone. When you drop down, you put a ready check. Once everyone's ready. Oh, come on. You do a ready check, and once everyone readies up, then everyone runs out, and you run at the same time. What sometimes more experienced groups do is they'll just stand and wait until they see, hey, everyone's down, just go. But it sounds like in that group it's a little more organized than that. So actually, you kind of revert back and use the ready check again. So.
All right. Well, that is all we have for
also,
Doom.
I guess shameless plug. That is technically the current patch.
You goon.
Record.
What do you mean current? Wait, what?
Yeah, and
we straight up took C&D's strat.
Yeah, we took C&D's strat
1-to-1.
Yeah, C&D came up with the strat entirely that I think like half these groups used.
Yeah, a lot of people took it. 'Cause it's really good.
So like, C&D is really to thank for a lot of people's saving time in theory crafting.
Like taking, what is it, sadistic searing for like the lower portal cooldowns and stuff, but yeah.
Really?
I don't think that's necessarily.
Anyways, I want to mention about Xera because we're moving to it.
I forget which one it was, honestly.
It's kind of like interesting going from Doom, which is a patch record that's pretty competitive, to Xera, which the patch record is not competitive at all because almost every Xera record has been moved to the glitched category due to some glitches. We probably won't be seeing. So almost definitely we're going to be seeing a record, like a strip world record here for Xera for glitchless. Very likely, I should say.
Well, I guess we should start off then, shouldn't we? So the first, we have Drunken Quaggins at rank 16. 16, that was weird. Okay, so that's 5 minutes and 18 seconds. And our first POV, let me get that set up for you, and then I'll post the log. We're going to be skipping pre-events. I need to default mute that.
The good thing about Xera, though, is like even though we're skipping pre-events, we're going to see them later on with some people. So isn't that just fantastic?
The King Chat cover. I don't know why that chat cover is great.
Did I just got you?
You need to speed it up.
I did speed it up. It's 1.5 right now.
Okay. Sorry, I'm delayed on the stream. Might be.
We're gonna be waiting for a while with gliding, so honestly, I would speed up more.
I mean, you can just click past the gliding, probably.
I don't have the time for that, so if I'll go to 1.75.
So.
Because we're looking at like 3 minutes per kill, otherwise, like 3 to 4 minutes per kill otherwise, and then if we speed that up, we'll get like 2 minutes to kill, 2 minutes to talk about it, and we have less teams than the previous month, so I just want to give us more time.
I guess a few things to add about Xera, because we haven't really talked about it. First and foremost, one big thing that everyone always forgets to do is that CC bar in every phase. You get one in first phase and one second phase normally, not always, but it's complicated. First phase, you always get it at 90%. I think it's right. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then whenever she has that CC bar up, she takes 95% less power damage and 95% less condi damage. So breaking that bar is always worth it. You should always break the bar as fast as you can because you're going to be doing 0 damage otherwise. So it's really important when we see these groups. For example, it's warriors running maces to break that bar. We're seeing other people probably pressing other CC skills. Though I'm surprised the Hollow's not bringing shield.
It's okay. Rifle has CC, or is he taking pistol?
Pistol.
Yeah. Shield is very
While we're
minimal
on
loss.
that topic, then I just want to confirm then that the sword pistol is or sword shield over sword pistol is like not that much a DPS loss in exchange for that large CC increase, correct?
It's
You're
less than 1k.
You're losing pistol 4, which you don't even press that often anyway. Even on even either ECSU or PBM, it's not that much.
Oh, so they didn't actually tank it that far to the edge. Like, you just need to avoid the red orbs because it does pulse like slow, which is a huge DPS loss.
And it lifts you.
But you don't really need to move the boss
that
all
1
the way to the
second
edge to
wait.
avoid them.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Keep getting up. People are getting up buttons early. Sorry. You guys are good. I like this kill actually. I like the not moving her fully to the edge. That was really interesting. Oh, they got that CC bar at 1%. That's so unfortunate.
Well, let's see if this next group got any more fortunate. They are at. Oops, sorry, I think I have a notification here. It's not important. This is relax and ignore DPS. I don't think we should ignore DPS here, but
They're not ignoring DPS, they're ignoring the healer.
What? How are you gonna survive without a druid?
I think it's a
right?
boon
Maybe
healer?
those scourges. Or
I think
wait,
it's a
only
boon
one
healer,
scourge.
but let's find out.
They have the good boon heralds to essentially just do all the boons that druid would normally provide. 10 mana protection, swiftness, might, fury,
This should be the right log.
regen.
DX11? DX11 lovers? Anyone?
I didn't change the settings. This is just being slow on its own. Sorry, give me 1 second here.
Yeah, no.
No,
fine.
it's not a heal herald.
I think it's the frame rate of the video.
Oh.
I'll check it real quick.
Well, because Xera.
Well, I'll put it on 1.75 anyways.
Simple condition.
There's this thing that a large amount of the raiders ignore, which is DPS, you know? Much like this
Wait.
group's name.
DPS is worthless.
They-
though.
No, we
Yeah,
ignore
exactly.
we ignore
So-
mechanics, not DPS.
They don't understand the value of skipping mechanics due to having high DPS, right? And I think that Xera is actually one of the bosses that showcase this the most. Like, the difference between having good DPS and bad DPS, you almost have no mechanics on Xera if you reach a certain threshold.
I will counter
So-
that with Gorseval.
They have no... True. But they have, like, no reason to take a healer as long as they can, like, just avoid the ads or like, kill them with epi or kill them with pulls.
I mean, when you say no healer, but there's still 2 Firebrands and Renegades with the Break Razor's Bastion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Break Razor's not that much healing on a full DPS Ren. It's a lot of self, though.
I
Plus
beg
self.
to differ.
Not a lot of group. A lot of self.
It's break razors from like 2 rens is, and then it's like 400 or 500 per tick
And there's
364.
each time.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's
it's not that
4 there's
crazy.
4 Renegades, 2 in each subgroup. So
Self-heal is more than that.
Pretty huge when you think about regen plus the break razor plus just having barrier.
Plus a little thing about break razor, and without looking at it, I don't know which one it is, but it's 50% reduced Condi damage or Condi duration on on 5 allies inside of the AoE,
That is pretty good. I'll
which
give you that.
is nothing to scoff at in this fight.
So, anyways, I want to mention though, DX was mentioning it with DPS. Some fights are like this, some fights aren't. So Xera, almost every mechanic on Xera is timer based, except for 3, the 90%, the 40%, 20%, but that's not relevant. Almost every other mechanic is timer based. So after a certain amount of time, something will happen. If you're able to DPS her lower than a certain percentage before that timer hits, then that mechanic won't happen. So, for example, we're not seeing almost any grav wells, which are half the arena being taken up, because that's a timer-based mechanic. And if you DPS her enough, you can skip them.
I mean, we're seeing them, but they're still positioned in a way that they avoid them. So that
If
you
there
can't
is one that's
ignore
going to
them in the first
spawn,
place.
there are a few almost unavoidable. But there's like, for example, first phase, there's like one that can really screw up the group really easily. We're seeing almost no shard clearing because shard clearing is also timer-based, not health-based.
Well, this group
Well, it's also
pragmatic
break bar
rating.
based.
Well, this group pragmatic rating is
Oh.
2 seconds faster at rank 14. And let me get the log for you, and
Yep.
then POV.
DX mentioned that the shards actually do spawn faster when their break bar is up as well. They do spawn
it quickly.
Yeah. That break bar is kind of insane, and people really underestimate it. It's probably one of the biggest DPS losses in a lot of break bars and raids. I'm just trying to think of more. There's a few that are more, but like, man, this break bar is kind of really worth the break, and people don't think it is.
I like this
Yes.
comp. It's a double Scourge, double Warrior, double Firebrand, double Renegade. And then I guess they have the Chrono for quickness in sub 1 because of the focus pulls, I suppose. But they also have Epis and Axe pulls from the Firebrand, so maybe not necessary. But still really good on like the pre-event for the focus pull.
I mean,
And
we're still
obviously
not
high
the days
DPS
of
quickness
the
source.
true mirror comp back in those days where basically you had too many supports and not enough.
Something interesting to know about Xera. Back when people used to play Zealbrand in this fight for Firebrand, you wouldn't bring Zeal here. Virtues was better in this fight because of the last trait in Virtues. Now we can see Quick Brand's running it because it's the better thing anyway, regardless. And so Quick Brand actually on this fight probably has, of all the quickness sources, definitely has the highest like solo damage it could do. Like a Scrapper is not going to be able to do much as a Firebrand here or a Chrono. So it's really like getting those extra ads pulled in is really important for the Firebrands as well.
I will say that I very much love the concept of having to switch traits based on what boss you're fighting, but I don't think we have a lot of those, and it seems that the stance
In the
that we've
class.
got with the new, with anything new is like you're kind of like pigeonholed into one specific build.
Well, that's what I like about dropping a healer in a lot of scenarios, right? Like the classes have to make up for it with like just slight little trait changes or slight little
Yeah.
utility swaps.
It depends on the class you're playing. So, for example, Firebrand really doesn't change much from fight to fight. But something like Druid can. Or, well, definitely Chrono. Or Scourge, even. Just Firebrand kind of stays the same. And Renegade usually stays about the same, too.
Well, Firebrand at least has the freedom of like that one utility slot, the Signet of Wrath. You can easily take Sanctuary on fights with break bars or stand your ground if you need the 10-man stability.
You were saying finish your autos, Mr. Firebrand. Actually, finishing your autos is good, but pressing your weapon skills is better.
It looks like we have an extra Sam here. Am I right, Sam? Can you hear me?
We do.
I guess not.
Oh.
Evo, you're doing fine, bro.
Well, I mean, he's still here. He can still watch and like commentate. It's not just about. That's not just about like me doing something. Okay, next group we have is the Cactus Monkeys. Make sure I have the right log here.
Are you sure this isn't a Doom comp? It looks just like a Doom comp.
Time.
I actually don't know, to be honest. I hope I didn't copy the wrong thing.
What? No, I'm just joking. It's just a good comp on like any boss, really.
Well, don't scare me like that.
Is this Doom, Evo?
No. There's platforms. There's flying. It's Xera.
Yep, so the Scourgers have Omega CC, they
Oops,
have
sorry.
Epi, they can bounce them for big damage and just help kill the ads. Double
Okay,
Scrapper
so-
for really good quickness. The only thing you're going to be missing on this comp maybe is like Fury, but the Warrior can take Elite Banner, which will last 60 seconds, which is about how long every phase should be, or
Any
shorter.
thoughts on the double bip there?
I
Any
didn't
thoughts?
see, but
They bipped before they glided in, then they bipped F5 again.
faster might, plus big burst damage to start, plus, I mean, depending on your phase timings, like you do want to press all your Bloodless powers, like if one's going to be coming off cooldown, right?
We
as
didn't,
you
yeah.
phase.
So we didn't see it there, but Spectral Grasp. The reason they're bringing it, there's a few skills like this in the game where it's technically 5 target, but if you're in a hitbox of another enemy, all 5 attacks will hit the same enemy. This is how Epi used to work, for instance. So what'll actually happen is if you stand in the hitbox of Xera during the CC and you Spectral Grasp, and there's ads up or something else that the Spectral can target, there are weird things it can target, like Hands of Nameless, for instance. Then it'll use all 5 on her, and it'll CC her 5 times the Spectral Grasp rather than just 1 time. So Spectral Grasp is kind of insane on Xera.
Something to
for
note.
CC.
You talked about the double bip, but I think part of it is also because they were looking to hit their F2 really quickly. So like they don't want the accidental transfer and cleanse to get the early burst.
Oh, yeah.
Well, one reason they're using it is also I think you can get 4 Torment and 4 Bleeding. It's hard. Sometimes there's a problem with the timing. I think they timed it fine. Where if you double bip, then you don't have any bips up for the next F5, which generally you want to combo those because they're really powerful together. Because 2
Yeah,
bleeding and 2
to transfer
torment.
the Condies from the Bloodless Power, Master of Corruptions.
I did set this for 1.75, right? Or no, I didn't. Oops, that's why.
Scrappers in this fight, kind of interesting. They are gonna be more group damage because of pinpoint, but I don't know if they're more total damage. Pinpoint's a good increase, because Connie damage specs generally have less total Connie damage, which means the percent change is higher. If you know anyone math, you know what I'm talking about. Than usually having like some like power, like well, I shouldn't say Assassin's Presence, but what's I don't know what trait that gives power. God.
Empowered allies.
Power allies.
Yeah, power allies would probably do less than pinpoint just because normally you have like what say 4,000 power versus maybe having I think it's 3,000 Connie damage. So 100 Connie damage is more than worth more than 100 power usually.
It's honestly kind of interesting that a Condi spec is default bringing Assassin's Presence, and a power spec is default bringing pinpoint distribution nowadays. Kind of
The
like,
question is,
up with ANET.
I don't even know if Assassin's Presence is actually worth it. It might be worth bringing notoriety.
notoriety gives you minus condition damage, so definitely not worth it on a Condi Ren.
Might be worth bringing notoriety. I forgot. It's plus power. Whoops.
Yeah, it's plus power minus condition damage.
If you
Thrill
are
of Combat.
stacking, if you're stacking Rens, if you have 2 Rens, Condi Rens in one subgroup, one of them brings AP, the other one brings Thrill of Combat, and that's a DPS increase for the Thrill of Combat Ren and a survivability increase.
I got egg on my face for that one. Sorry, I forgot how notoriety worked.
That's okay. Well, our next group is doesn't have an egg in their face. I hope it's tried and tested strategies. They are in the 11th rank with 4 minutes and 33 seconds. And let me just get that log for you. Make sure I hit the right button. Yes, I did. Okay, cool.
Uh-oh.
What?
We're same purple class. Oh
Yeah.
dear.
Maybe is that why Sam is quiet? Because he's trying to avoid raging into the
That's
mic.
quite a check over.
Ooh, yes! I love the elite. I
Sorry.
approve heavily of the elite. Very good elite. Perfect.
Glyph of
Number
the
one.
Stars.
Glyph of the Stars.
Are you
Greatest
biased, or are
achievement.
you going to tell us why?
He's
big
not
hero.
biased. He's right. And that's
I'm
what
right.
it is.
Oh,
Wow.
hello, Sam.
I personally think it's useless.
What?
So Diaxon, I'm gonna argue here, because I think in a setting like this, where a down is sometimes just an instant GG, it's
if
not
you
useless.
precast it, bro. Let your teammates die so you can save them. It looks super awesome.
Why wouldn't you
Glyph of the
just
Stars is
why
a
wouldn't you
heal.
just-
It blocks condies from being applied so people aren't taking damage. It's so good. Oh my god, Glyph of the Stars is kind of insane.
Yeah, when you think about it, it is truly insane for a fight like Xera, where you can actually have too many conditions applied to you, and that ruins groups which are maybe a little bit less excellent on their DPS rotations. So
Even
yeah,
better
the
if
accent, it is the superior elite,
If
for
you
real.
have stab the accent, like 100 stab or whatever, you can sit in middle and the laser can hit you, and as long as you
So,
can heal through the power damage, you'll be fine.
That doesn't
So,
seem smart
I mean,
though.
Let's not forget Nature Spirit is still arguably one of the top 5 most powerful skills in raiding currently.
You just pulled that number out of your butt, bro.
Yeah, you did.
I did, but
I think, no, Glyph of the Stars is not useless. You know, you've convinced me. It's not terrible.
It's not useless, but it's
When
extremely
I play
niche.
Druid on Keep Construct, if you're playing Keep Construct playing Druid, bring Glyph of the Stars. It is better than Nature Spirit. Your team can sit
100,
underneath
yeah.
him and they won't die. It just heals so much.
The entire
It's an
pizza phase
option.
can be entirely negated.
it's not black
still
and
power
white
damage.
like that, guys.
Yeah.
It's very situational.
It
It's
is
very
better.
niche. You still have to have enough damage and or survivability typically before you run.
And then you could
the
run
Glyph of Stars.
you could run Verdant Etching in Druid, and you can have a lower cooldown on it, so you can use it more often. Rather
My
than bringing
problem with the
Celestial Shadow,
glyph
which
is
is
that
Well,
you
Celestial
have to
Shadow
cast
is
it
useless
and you
straight.
can't cast anything else.
It's a channel, and so you're useless outside of that. So
What
if
else
other
are you gonna
people need-
cast?
If
on Druid?
healing,
Yeah, but while you're casting
you in
it,
charge of
you
might?
are healing, preventing conditions.
Aren't you
and
in charge of
still,
might at that
like,
point as
getting
well?
stacks of might. Yeah,
Wait.
works out.
okay, all right,
okay,
we can
it-
we can debate the glyph another time. We
I have some
completely
other
missed
stuff
the
to
I'm
say.
POV.
gonna
But,
agree with you, and we're gonna
good
move
job,
on to
Working.
Good
Codicus.
POV, lads. Good job. Good POV.
We're gonna move on to Codicus Ministry here. This is a different comp. We've got another purple class, but it's not Chrono. It's a Mirage still, and it's a Codicus Ministry. 4 minutes 33 seconds at 11, rank 11. Wow, what am I saying here?
Yep. Very similar to the Doom comp, just because, I mean, it is really high damage on the phases. The only thing that's maybe worrisome, especially about like the Staff Mirage, is it's going to be slow in the pre-event, which the pre-event is really, really important for actually pushing 0 time, so it counts on the Enrage, and you really need to burst down those shards quickly. And also, like, you know, have pulls or pushes for the orbs into the rifts
did
on
they-
the first platform.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
one
Xera's a
Remember
fun
we-
fight in the sense that your first phase is gonna be like somewhere in the realm of 35 to 50 seconds, if you're like speed clearing kind of thing, and your second phase is gonna be somewhere around a minute, but your downtime and your RP time is gonna be around 2 minutes long total. So if you can lower that RP, that pre-phase, the pre-events, all that stuff, then it can be a pretty significant change.
bringing Scrapper for pre-events, for example, is pretty good because they have power damage, which means you can instantly attack the shards. But more importantly, supply crate.
Excuse me?
Supply crate's not that much damage.
What were they using it for?
It's
CC?
not for the damage,
What?
for the CC.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
How big
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
actually of a CC is it? Like,
Like
I know it
150
is
or something.
good.
Does anyone
Well-
know what the CC, what the
I'll
the
look it
CC
up.
value is on it. Yeah, I'm curious.
300? Okay.
300? Whoa.
big
Okay,
CC
yeah,
scope.
yeah, that's big.
It's not that crazy.
Plus, then you have.
No.
I mean,
friends.
that's
Give me
big
some-
enough.
So I do want to just jump in here.
They can have
just for
friends.
clarification, supply crate is 200. I just checked.
Oh, 200. Then it's really not that amazing, is it?
I think you get more out
It
of
depends
mortar
on the
kit, then,
cast
wouldn't
time,
you?
Honestly.
I guess it's the best thing you can take on Scrapper. Like, you don't really have anything better.
Yeah. Unless the wiki's wrong about Defiance, but usually the wiki defines. Oh, the overcharge of the net turret. Oh, okay, so it actually adds a little bit extra to the net turret.
I also just
yeah,
want to quickly jump in
fair.
here. We're not showing the pre-event because that's not. It is important, but it's kind of like the same for everyone. So we're trying to get through this relatively quickly because it is the finale and we want to take care of.
I mean, I would
take care of
show
some
them
of
for like the last 2 or 3 POVs if you can. But-
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the last
Um,
POV. We don't need to show every POV. Just the last one. I know
Well-
DX. What?
Well, they're different comps, you know? Things might be
Okay.
different.
Yeah, I would show them for like the last, probably at least maybe 4.
Okay,
Because of different comps can optimize in different ways.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on which comps are available then. In which case, though, we have this next comp from Lonely Raiders in your area. And this is the first time in a while that we've... Actually, no, sorry. We have seen Hollowsmith.
Well, so they actually hurt the Axon when he was talking on Doom when he confused Scrappers with Hollowsmiths. So they actually forgot. They meant to bring Scrappers, but they brought Hollows.
No, honestly, I think the Hollowsmiths here are mostly, well, I guess they consider Firebrand a better quickness source. It is really good on Xera with the axe pulls and stuff, and just good damage. And then the Hollows are probably just to speed up the pre-event, if I had to guess.
For Pinpoint
And,
as
and they're
well.
nice bursty and big CC on the phases.
And Pinpoint.
Yeah, Pinpoint.
Pinpoint's kind of good.
You don't say.
No, I did say. I don't know if you're paying attention.
I mean, I was actually following during the whole discussion on Pinpoint, Assassin's Presence, and Paralyze.
Can we not go back to the discussion? I screwed up and messed up notoriety. Thanks.
Alright then.
Yeah,
I
we'll just
still
edit that
think-
post.
I still love the Peepo Panties guild logo. I think ANET should add it to the game.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Weird champ.
Make it a Marjorie panties and I'm sold.
Weird champ.
Moving along.
We do what we can.
One thing we haven't deliberately mentioned is what we're probably going to see here in P2 is that no one ever has tanked right at the middle at the start of P2. They all go to the side, and that's something that Kraw hinted at earlier, that if you hit DPS checks, you skip the gravity wells, or they're called glamours, I think. So you can just move there immediately, and that's where the last shards will spawn. So if you can out DPS those shards as well, then you can just keep her there the entire time. If you're a little bit slow, then you have to go back to middle and kill, or even have to clear the next spot and move
I just
there.
called them
But,
jellos. Do not
what
eat
percentage do you
delicious
have to
Jell-O.
beat for that grav well? Like, what percentage of that grav well? I don't even know. It's like 28%
Jeez, I
or
don't know.
something?
I have no clue.
I have no clue.
No, they actually are going middle here.
Wow.
I lied.
Get cucked.
Well, so
Um,
generally, yeah.
Now.
Middle's...
I wonder. Oh, so right there we saw a call to anguish there to try to pull the orb. That's one thing you can do in the prevent as well. But it looked like it was out of range, so.
Yeah, so
if
if-
you want
Oof,
to bonk it.
that was close.
So you
So
can
we-
see they moved Xera out to the side, while the 40% group was away.
We didn't mention this at all, but one thing that's good to know is that every so often someone will get special action, and you can see this like circle around the group. But more importantly, the group came back. When they came back from the island, they were outside of that circle, which normally would kill them. But when you come back from the island, you're invincible for like 5 seconds or something. You could even run through center, which is always fun to do. Well,
which is particularly important for coming back to your team. If you weren't invincible, you actually see a lot of casualties. And sometimes when you come back from the minigame on lower tiered or less experienced groups, then it can go very wrong.
What's there an outgo for?
So here's the fun
These are
fact.
swapped in
and
the sheet for some reason.
Wait, what?
You
LI
skipped
and
one, I
Lonely
believe.
Raiders.
We went.
No,
No,
they didn't
we-
skip one. They're swapped in the sheet. On the sheet, LI is in 10. Not sure why.
They're the same. They're the same.
Are they tied?
The same time. So
Same
Yeah.
time, okay. Both 9 then. Alright.
This is a new
The
comp.
fun
We've never seen
thing
this one
about
before.
those getting ported back, and I actually personally didn't know this until it was pointed out to me this week. You are invuln from being lifted if you get hit by those orbs. However, if you do get hit by those orbs, you still cause the slow and other conditions to affect
Other
your
people.
allies. So
It is
while you feel invulnerable, you're actually not, and you still want to make a conscious effort to avoid touching them.
So basically, Xera still comes down to do not eat the delicious jello, do not eat the delicious cherries.
What? Okay. And it's good to note in this fight that this is a completely new comp we've never seen before. So we got. No, I'm just kidding. It's very
I was about
close
to say,
seeing a
like,
new
wait,
comp
is it?
with- I'm joking. It's just it says Scrappy's here 5 breaths.
Hey, at least it's not like last time we had Xera, where the top 15, I think, were all P Chrono stack.
That was a time when I wasn't playing the game. A better time. But now I'm playing the game because it's fun again because Power Chrono got nerfed.
Still good though. Still really strong.
Don't tempt me.
Don't worry, we'll have what's it called soon, Virtuoso instead.
It's not. People think. Well, unless they tune it up and we'll see. I'm not sure if Virtuoso will be as strong as people think it will be, but depends on how it comes out. It could be wildly different. Who knows?
I'm
Maybe
pretty sure,
Vindicator
I'm pretty sure
becomes
we
the meta
saw
power
it,
class.
I'm pretty sure we saw it breach Power Chrono damage. During
Oh, damage, yeah, but I mean, if we're talking about like damage of classes that were in the beta, there's a few others that are a little better.
Oh, for sure, but those ones are like very clearly overtuned as opposed to.
Virtuoso, which is 42k, that's pretty overtuned. That's like similar to Harbinger, right?
Well, that was
The-
Power Chrono for a while back, right? And like,
Yeah, which is also overtuned.
I can't fight you on that one.
We'll see. Well, I'm hoping that there's a few classes that start existing again. So I hope Vindicator like actually exists when it comes out. That would be nice. I would like to see it.
Well, after being legendary inside, we've got practice is overrated. People boom at 4 minutes 21 seconds, rank 8, and we have a Daredevil.
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember which Daredevil
Double
it is.
warrior
though.
as well. Pretty wicked.
Double warrior.
I
Isn't
don't
Good
remember
bet
what
that
POV we have for
speed.
this. I think we
I
have.
bet that makes you happy, Jackson, right?
Uh huh. I think
The
it's
Daredevils.
6 warriors, 2 for you actually.
You know,
They should,
if
it should
if
be all
we would have
Daredevils.
if we would have let you in our practices, I have no doubt that you would have made us do that.
No, I'm not delusional. Okay, no, but warrior is pretty good here for the pre-event, and you know you can split banners, have big CC for the break bar, all that good stuff.
Yeah, in all seriousness, I meme about warrior stacks with it, but
Yeah,
it's
no,
actually
I-
really
I
strong
saw the
class.
logs. People boom experimentally full warrior comp. They're crazy.
I'm just waiting for the day when Venoms can stack, and then we will see Condy Daredevils all over,
Oh, that was a
all the time.
that was a strange dip.
Hope,
Yeah, the Daredevil popped up on this P1. I think they were like 39k.
yeah, so that's actually something you'll see a lot of players do on the glide is they let themselves fall and then it shoots them back up so they can get above rather than having to go around
Yeah.
those like pesky walls that get popped up in front of you.
You got to be
Guys, I don't know about
really
you, but I've
confident
actually
in your
never
timing.
died. Have you guys ever died to gliding? Because I've heard people doing it. I've heard like the myth, but I've never actually done it myself.
Oh, the gliding bug from
Absolutely,
like
and
a
now
long
we
time
know-
ago.
gliding? Yeah, you can.
Now that
And
we
now
know
that-
Carl's a liar.
Yeah, now we know that 20% of this stream crew is lying.
I've never died. I've actually never died to gliding, and I'm still confused by people who do to this day.
Sorry,
Chat, he's only
You're
saying that because
so
he's never
good.
he's only saying that because
Thank
he's
you.
never killed
Thank-
Xera, chat.
Thank you, Diaxon. You know, I used to hold the Xera record.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm just
I
saying.
don't
What?
Actually, I did, but I played Renegade for DP when I was filling, so I don't really count it. Oh shit.
You can get pushed up and out of the boss arena if you lag for a second. That's just the return of the old bug that I think everybody wishes was still in the game.
that was a lot of fun to be completely honest.
It was quite fun, yeah, as a bug, to be fair. I mean, the only issue there was with it is that a lot of people tried desperately to get it started before the encounter would go through, and you would waste time on a regular clear.
Yeah, that really
So
sucked.
I think that moment right there is probably where the double warriors comes in handy the most. If you happen to get that second break bar, you can instantly break it still. Most other comps that we've seen get that have kind of struggled on that break bar.
I mean, we say this a lot, but warrior. This is the same PvP, my bad. But warriors themselves, like, they're not bad DPS on their own. Like, we're just typically.
They're great.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're typically just seeing them as singular because banners, but we can't. They're definitely like just a DPS slot on their own. Anyways, we got Cormier in at 4 minutes and 20 seconds at rank 6. Nice.
I just want to mention something with this log when you guys see it. So the world record log for glitchless Xera is 3 minutes and 14 seconds. So we are approaching it. This is 11 seconds off the world record, technically.
Wait a second. There's a Deadeye on this in this fight.
Yep.
There sure is.
Why didn't you give me the Deadeye log or Deadeye POV? Come on,
A
guys.
rifle Deadeye. Oh my god. I love it. Nope, this is the best POV that we've seen all day.
Well, this is not. This isn't a rifle Deadeye. It's a rifle. It's a rifle's follow.
For the
Yeah,
and stuff.
it probably does help a ton.
Well, whoever it is,
I'm guessing
actually-
it's just for fun, right? Like just preference.
Well, what's the
they're
purpose
actually
of the
pretty
rifle
good at it
Deadeye?
because they got 34k in P1. That's a pretty
Yeah,
good.
it's
That's
big
pretty
damage.
rifle Deadeye. That's a pretty good rifle Deadeye.
So what's the purpose of the Deadeye though? Is it purely damage then, or is there anything? Is there anything?
I think it's
Massive.
mostly
God damn it.
preference.
I think
yeah,
it's pre-event as well. I think it probably is faster in the pre-event.
I would agree. It's probably preference pre-event.
It's gonna be slow. Well, I shouldn't say it's gonna be slower boss because I'm seeing it do pretty damage actually. So I don't
But
know.
it's
Someone in chat is saying
it's
that
an underrated thing.
that it was hitting 40k second phase. I'm assuming with no ports.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
find
not-
out. We'll find out in a moment.
'Cause-
Sorry, guys. I had to switch that up
Because
again.
in this log, it's 22.5 P2.
Yeah.
With
But I
a
mean,
port.
if you get ported, you're doing like 0 damage. That's the
Yeah,
big
you get
problem with
ported, you
Rifle
get
Deadeye.
really screwed over.
That goes for all
So Rifle
classes,
Deadeye is
though.
probably the most punishing class in the game for mechanics or mistakes. You can lose tons of damage. I'm looking at the log right now, by the way, if you guys are curious. Yeah, 22k P2, but he probably gets teleported. P1 though, 33.6 is nothing to scoff at.
I suppose
But
that they
yeah,
must have had a
spirit
battle log on
rotation.
something else.
This
Big
hollow
damage loss
prime
from-
light beamed the shard.
Wow.
It's interesting. You know?
That's
Don't
that's
judge.
commitment.
Where's the laser disc?
Just admire.
Where's the laser disc?
Probably. No, that lid just doesn't have charges, does it?
Well, he has. I don't know, charge.
Well, I mean, it's a
No,
90
it doesn't
second
have
glide
charges.
phase, so you can use pretty much any cooldown in the game during this phase, and you'll
That's
have it
also
back
probably
if you
true.
use it
That's
early
not
enough.
true. You can't use supply crate,
Oh,
That's why I said pretty much.
and also you can't. Well, you can use the starts now because they lowered the cooldown a lot when they made it. There's a few skills, but not very many.
I
They're
really
very,
wish
very high
Engineer
cool.
had probably a slightly better elite, just like as a standalone.
I think Beam's not a bad elite.
No. I
Yeah.
mean, the Engineer, not Holosmith.
Oh, yeah, engineers elites are pretty bad.
What do you mean, bro? You can rampage or become a tornado. Like,
True.
But you know what I can do? I can throw gunk. I don't even have to steal to throw gunk. Because of the mortar kit thing, yeah.
Whoa,
well, it's nice to see this comp without a Scourge.
Uh-oh.
Just
Good.
good old reliable
Good.
druid.
Oh, this is also
Good.
reliable
They do have quite a
chrono
few
pulls
downstates in
plus
the ads.
hollow.
They just
This is
yeah,
the
most
ads,
of
and I
those
saw a
are just pulls.
couple orb eating there.
I like
I mean,
this
you
level up.
you'll see them get lifted up in the air. That's what happens if you let those orbs touch you, and it also
gives slow
puts
to everyone.
slow on everyone around you, which is it can be a real pain and really kind of drag on the P2.
Well, the bright side is that this group didn't wipe, but this group, wonderful ideas, poor execution. They are tied here at 4 minutes 20 seconds. And this is kind of a more going back to the standard Condi comp, if you will.
People seem to be valuing the sustain and just like steadiness on the boss phases than maybe pushing the prevent a little bit faster with power damage.
We can see here
Am I
the
weird?
Scourge with the Spectral Grasp, as you mentioned before.
Yeah, this Connie comp still has good stuff for the pre-event.
it's-
Spectral Grasp, it can use Call to Anguish. It has the Firebrains can do Axe Pull.
And it's a Scourge tank too.
I'm weird. I don't like seeing Condi comps in this fight. I'm just weird, I guess. I like power here. Big fan.
I think power makes sense if you have if you're trying to cleave down the other things via pulls of like a chrono, but realistically, like if you bring them close enough, so you can just epidemic them, like that's also reasonable.
But one thing we hadn't mentioned, the shard AoEs. This happens for both Xera and the ads. If either of them have Condis, they will slowly get their Condis cleansed. Are they all at once or one at a time? I'm not sure which. I think it's one at a time for every shard AoE. And the ads have the same thing as well. So if you epi them and they spawn the shards, they actually start getting boons from the Condis being cleansed, converted doing the shard AoE. So sometimes the epi can backfire.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure what causes the
Yeah,
ads to
yeah,
spawn in
just
certain
because
areas. I think
of
it's just
it,
random, so kind of just unlucky if that happens.
Glide, glide, glide.
But yeah,
Sorry, I forgot
to
to
your
spell
good
you up
things out
initially.
there, please don't keep the boss in the shards at all costs.
Yeah, it's even not worth putting even if you power comp, because remember Voln is a Condi. Also, if you're playing Hollows or Daredevils, you want more Condis in the boss because you do more damage. Or Dead
So boons are really good and really bad if they're on the enemy.
So we've seen a few unique classes so far. I think we saw one Tempest, we saw one Weaver, we've seen one Deadeye. What more do we see?
I mean, we're not gonna see it, I don't think, but Spellbreakers.
What? Oh,
What?
okay. Oh, well, that's a little bit exotic. Okay, that's a little bit.
That was a few months ago. We had Kadim.
Did we have Spellbreaker on Kadim? I don't even remember.
Yeah,
We did.
There was the top team of the Spellbreaker.
That was
PB.
last season, dude. Stick with
It
the
was last
present, bro.
season.
Oh my god.
It was still a few months ago.
Remember, we're
You're
going
not
back-
you're not wrong is the thing. But our seasons
Spellbreaker
do.
is dead. Long live Spellbreaker.
Yeah, those bounty
Yeah,
chests are looking hella tasty.
Those daily login chests just sitting there are.
It
Oh,
adds.
I didn't even
DPS,
notice
if
that
you
until
don't
now.
remember.
Thank you for triggering my OCD.
You're welcome.
It's okay, there's some people with level up chests still. I'm gonna call out. I don't know if they're in win. I don't know
I
if
have-
they would win, but Reese.
I have level up chests.
Almost every
This-
single one of Reese's characters has level up
That's
chests.
because a level up chest has like 3 click-through windows.
He's got a Wicked Boon Herald and Double Warrior. Ooh.
Yeah, this is pretty big.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's get back to the kills where
I
a
don't
kill
know
is a
who
kill.
these gamers are, but they're new to the rating league, and I'm very impressed.
Okay,
The
stop
accent.
simping.
Come on, DX. We know. Never mind. We know something the chat doesn't know, possibly.
NA gamers. That's all I'm saying. The Boon Herald is
Clearly, I'm missing something here, but
heavily favored in NA.
Some of these players are, well, one of them I know is, well, like DX knows them pretty well. So.
No, I don't know who these people are at all. No.
I'm sensing a lie.
Geez, they don't have writ uptime though, huh?
Who, the Herald or the individual?
There
people?
they are. Now they got it back. Yeah, they just have a Boon Herald and they have like the one Scourge, so pretty
Well,
low
the
on
Boon Herald is tanking. Of
sustain
course,
and
they're not
barrier
gonna have
here.
time.
Well, Boon
I
Herald's
mean-
tanking because,
Because why not?
Well, they don't have a druid. They don't have this is
Well-
effectively I believe a healerless comp.
Don't tell them that Ren
It is.
actually has more cell field than Herald. Nobody tell them.
Yeah, but do they have 10-man Fury, Might,
Well, no,
Quickness,
I'm saying
Protection,
for
Regen?
I'm saying for tanking. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
not talking
Well,
about the-
for tanking Xera, Herald's probably better simply because
I think it just
you really only have to worry about the Blurred
There is
Frenzy,
the
and
Blurred
you get the
Frenzy,
free
yeah.
glint heal for that.
it's
can
not
tell
as
you-
bad as just standing in front of the boss
And-
and taking auto attacks. There's also the
Uh,
Blurred Frenzy.
In a Ren, if you're dodging the Blurred Frenzy, which is the only way to mitigate that damage, it's a DPS loss for Ren because you also lose crit chance.
It's always DPS loss for doing a dodge, unless you're like a certain class of dodges,
Unless you're Soul Beast playing light on your feet.
or you're playing Daredevil, or you're playing Mirage.
Please never suggest Daredevil tanking to me.
I have tanked Mersat Overseer on Condi Daredevil. I'm just saying, it's a lot of fun.
For Mercado Overseer, I can see that's okay, but like for another boss like this, that seems miserable. Also, my flanking.
But yeah, this comp has a decent balance between like power and Connie damage for the pre and for the boss phases. The double warrior with the big CC as well. The firebrand splitting quickness, which it helps with the mantra RNG.
All right,
Oh, God.
that shark called me a boon thief, Adina tanking. Yes, I did do that a
No.
lot, but that's also
Boon
not
Thief
existent
tanking-
anymore.
Boon Thief tanking was still bad.
I mean, it wasn't optimal, but it was done on one record back in the day.
Yeah, like the first Adina record or something.
Well, next we have Calamity, and we're going back in time here a
Here
little
we
bit.
go.
P Chronos.
I think now we should
Really, no
probably
reaction for
start
that? Okay,
looking at
fine.
pre-phases.
All right, I'm muting myself for this. You guys have fun.
No,
I think-
I have no problem with P Chronos because like I want the comps to be diverse. I want the meta to be diverse. I want the balance to be healthy, right?
Yeah,
I think,
and since it's the
it's
last couple, we're
worth
gonna
starting to look at pre-phases and stuff now because
Yeah, I'm
I think
on
gonna
it.
this last
see-
deal will suffice.
I'm still gonna run
honestly.
at 1.75 speed though, guys.
Ow, my
Oh, that made me a
eyes.
little bit dizzy. Sorry.
oh my god. I think yeah, I mean I would make sure to pay attention to how they adjust to pull orbs and kind of optimize these things. You see the druid had an offhand axe to pull one. They obviously have a billion chronos, so
Yep,
focus
one
pull
bet, yeah.
This
everywhere.
is also
Big benefit of
tank
Chrono
on
here
druid, so
is
that's
the
not that
pre.
surprising. Oh, screen shake. Uh-oh.
Oh my
It's crazy.
sped up screen shake is
Not
something
actually
else.
that bad compared to actual screen shake.
I feel like I'm in a dryer.
It's okay, you're just vibing. Just
Yeah,
vibing.
you're head bobbing. The camera's head bobbing for you.
Focus
But, I mean,
Swift.
You can kind of see like what the action was saying on Doom as well. It's like this group brought a druid, brought a healer, and they're
Yep.
fourth
P Chronos
place.
definitely
So like,
need the P Chrono or the druid.
They also
Yeah,
roll
they do.
compress it to be the
Scholar
tank.
uptime.
Yeah, they also roll compress it to be the tank though, so.
Yep. And the might.
but it
Spirit's
just goes
big
to
value.
show that like it's not necessary to drop your healer to get fast
times.
kills.
Yep.
Yeah, you can bring a healer and still have really good quality kills.
I mean, as most people say, dead DPS is no DPS, so.
Well, yeah.
Correct.
It's kind of. It's not as black and white, but it's kind of like the difference between Power and Condi in a lot of ways. Like Condi has a lot more sustain just naturally, and probably should get nerfed, right? Like it can do a lot of the might while doing DPS. It can do a lot of the sustain with barrier and battle scars.
You're talking about Condi Renegade in general?
Just Condi classes overall. I mean, you've got damage mitigation on we'll say the three most popular Condi classes are probably Firebrand, Scourge, Ren. Scourge has barrier and tormenting runes. Ren has battle scars. Firebrand has Aegis. I mean, you have multiple ways to mitigate damage on the three most popular and probably the three strongest Condi classes right now.
Yeah, that's true actually. Well, that was Calamity, and our next group is Critical Fail at 4 minutes 11 seconds. That is 2 seconds faster than Calamity.
I'm back. I'm blacking out again.
Goodbye.
More P Chrono.
I mean, you can't really have it against them. It is strong. It is reliable.
No,
yeah,
for
I mean,
sure.
P-Chronos just
Like-
is good. Like people,
It is what it is. It is strong. In
It's
the
not.
current
Oh,
meta.
sorry. It's not the
No
blanket.
hate about it.
It's not the blanket best class for everything, which is at least like acceptable. It's like this is a very good niche for power chrono.
that's a high quality critical as well. I like whoever made that.
Well, again, one of the reasons it's so good on this is because it has like the focus pulls for the pre-event, and also just like no long cooldowns other than like CS and time warp. So you can use all your cooldowns and burst the phases quite well, and you can do that ranged. So like you can be on
Can
a
I forget
button.
to speed up the.
I also
You can also hardcast the time warps for the pre to make sure you have quickness.
I also
they don't
wanna
seem to be doing
point
that. They have
out-
a quickness well instead.
that Renegade used Break Razor on the first platform, like basically precasted on the group to lower the condition damage they were taking. And anyone who's spent a significant amount of time in Xera knows that those confusion stacks that those shards do can absolutely obliterate you if you're not careful.
I hate
So
confusion.
It's like just a tiny little optimization like that can help, with the consistent than anything. Like you don't waste time to people downing.
And they also just changed the way that like quickness application works. It no longer works in stacks. You can only have so many ticks of confusion or quickness applied to you. It's just a duration thing. So you can reach up to 30 seconds and then it stops. And the nerf time warp, so it's only 5 seconds, but it's a shorter cooldown, so you can use it like both phases very, very easily.
I thought I know that they said they fixed that. I don't think that was confirmed that they fixed it though, because there were still issues with quickness application, if I recall.
Okay, yeah, I guess I'm not confident.
That's
but-
only in the Golem room. It is 100% working the way that the X mentioned.
Okay, cool.
Golem Room is completely broken in multiple ways right
Yeah,
now.
try opening the hero panel. Yeah.
I'm coming back from my blackout. I'm just gonna continue afterwards, but I want to mention about Golem Room. If you're curious about opening hero panel, every boon you have in Golem panel room, when you open your hero panel, increases that lag. So the more buffs you have, the more that hero panel lags. So if you have none, it doesn't lag at all. If you have a whole bunch, it lags a lot.
Well,
If
you don't have to
single
go.
buff-
You don't have to go. Yeah, you don't have to black out quite yet.
Oh, I'm seeing power chronos on the screen, so I'm out.
I mean, Power Chrono is just there isn't a ton to really discuss with Power Chrono. It's simple, it's efficient. We've seen it before, and it continues to do its job well.
Yeah, but like I said, it's not oppressive, oppressively good everywhere else. It's like this is one of its niches.
Yeah.
But as I said, that's critical fail. That's with Chronos, and our next group, Downstate Cucks with Wind. 4 minutes and 1 second. They're rank 2, and it's not Power Chronos. So
Hey guys,
there we go.
Doom Comp!
Hey,
We just
one thing
took our Doom comp.
guys, this is actually the world record for Xera.
What?
Well, but we're only second place.
Yeah,
well,
we're
right
only
now,
second
so
place.
we have
it's
even
gonna
better world record.
it's gonna be world record for about 4 minutes.
Yeah.
The one,
Impressive.
I think the only difference in this and our Doom Comp is we dropped Tactics Banner from our Warrior, and I went from Condi to Power Soul Beast. Everything else is
Yeah,
the
we
exact
wanted,
same builds.
2 power DPS on each side, so we can burst on the shard. So we have the Power Soul
Wait.
Beast and Scrap on one side, and then the Warrior and the Scrap on the other.
And Power Soul Beast loses less, I think, from Double Spirits than Condi. If I take a guess.
It's not as black and white as that.
Well, you
to
lose,
talk about
you lose
it
Signet and you lose Trap, right?
Well, to
Versus
talk about it-
losing...
briefly,
Trap.
essentially the damage was pretty similar for the phases. Power loses more damage if it gets ported in P2, but it
Right.
helps significantly in the pre-events. So
The
it
only
was
loss
more
is
value in
Vulture
the end.
stance on our Condi DPS from Condi
Yeah,
Soul Beast.
Which
Yeah.
we didn't bother mathing out, but yeah.
So there for the pre, yeah, we used a mix between, well, Path of Scars, 2 Call to Anguishes, and like Spectral Grasp to pull the orbs in really quickly. And then, yeah, I don't know, it's a really easy comp for the boss phases. Like, Xera doesn't do much. This boss was kind of annoying. It's just port RNG, and
Does this Zerk
Whatever.
last for the entirety of the phase?
it does. That's why he has Wild Blow.
That's why
If we're picking up, it lasts the whole time. Yeah.
As opposed to like Outrage or something else.
Which is why
Well,
I guess
well,
a second
both-
DPS warrior isn't that beneficial, right? Because one warrior can already do it sufficiently.
Wild Blow is better than Outrage for Zerk uptime, especially if you're not running Headbutt.
Oh, I didn't even notice there was no headbutt.
Yep.
They need
We
to
have
leave,
we have
leave enough for Fury and
we have
stuff.
scrappers, so we need help with Fury.
Damn,
Wait a
this thing
second,
looks
this
so
PO
good.
This POV is sped up. Not valid.
I like how
Good.
Luna would
Speaking
always
of the
come
comp.
back and hang out with me while you guys were gliding during this phase.
People who glide early, I'm sorry, you should never glide early here. Why? There's no reason.
You can ask the accent how many times I
Um,
yelled at the team for it.
Yeah, it was really fucking annoying. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I can't. Sorry, I can't swear.
Why can't
sorry.
you? Why can't
All
you?
right,
PG-13,
so I think
we
a
have
lot
one.
of
We're
groups
PG-13,
waste a lot of
everyone gets one.
time. I know we did, experimenting with the 20% skip. So essentially, if you like stall the 40% one until the 20% get ported, and then kill the 40% one, everyone gets ported back. But they also get ported back at the 40% location, which is far away from the boss. We experimented with it a lot, but like it didn't seem worth, at least not with our comp. Because it also causes the boss to like bug out a little bit and get an earlier break bar, which is a big loss. So
I'm a big believer in the firebrand
I don't know.
stacking, but nobody's done it.
I wouldn't say that we're like that competitive of a guild, but we were definitely thinking about 17 the whole time, you know? But once Xera got rolled, we kind of just our mentality changed to not losing instead of winning.
We just were like, we played around with P Chrono and nobody was having fun
Yeah.
with it, so we were just like, screw this, let's run Doom Comp
Chrono.
and have fun and get a good kill while having fun.
Well, as you can
Yes.
guess, our top ranked team for Xera is 17 elitists at 3 minutes and 56 seconds. Why did I say 53? At rank
This
1
is
and running their
incredible.
tried and true. Well, actually, wait, that's another guild. Hang on. Running their standard composition.
This is back to their bread and butter. They've done this well for about a year. I would say they are
Probably
probably
more than a year, I think.
just
but-
like counting how many feats they have in P Chrono comp. They're probably the best guild with P Chrono.
Interesting point.
Uh-oh.
This is the world record for Xera.
You just said that. Okay, that's fair. Fine.
What is actually? So,
This could
while
be
we're
an
starting
issue.
on it, I want to mention for the longest time, if you guys didn't know, on Xera, people would generally port back using either continuum split or spectral walk, or some other way. Also, just standing on the edge, which is cheating. And so either people cheat or something. Now, those records
Don't be
from Future
cheaters.
a while ago, I don't remember how long ago, were considered glitched because it is a glitch. And I've been saying this for years, even when I held the record in that way. It was glitched. And finally, people came to their senses and agreed with me. So now, currently, the record is about, I think it's 4...
It's
oh,
407 before
407?
this.
Yeah, which means that the glitchless record is now beaten, and we have a actual somewhat competitive record to beat. So yes, we now there are people who argued that somehow teleporting back was glitchless, but they were wrong.
Well, I mean, it is a proper use of the skills capabilities, but yeah.
Right, but ArenaNet specifically like also turned that off, so that's officially
I mean,
not.
that
Portal does not
argument
work.
can literally go on for days.
The portal does not work. I'm just saying, if they literally disabled portal for it, so I think is an oversight.
What? Ain't that with oversight? Yeah, things slip through the cracks. It happens. It happens.
No, it's fine.
Oversight,
So,
you mean a clever use of in-game
I have
mechanics.
a quick question for any of the 7 in chat. That Renegade is just a pure DPS con DRR, correct?
I think
Yeah,
it's Diviners, isn't
probably.
it? Actually, no, it can't be.
It's not. It's full. It's Vipers. It doesn't
might
have
have
any boon
some
duration
duration.
stats.
It's
it has
Viper. It's
30%.
Okay.
30. Oh, it's
It's a Selly. It's a Selly.
Selly, but with Nightmare runes because
30% Selly is like not that much Selly.
well, but they don't need a lot because Chronos generate
Their
a
own
lot of
alacrity.
their own alacrity
Exactly.
with shatters. So really, by doing this, you can really kind of push your damage higher, and 7 people in this comp can really shine, while the other
Feels bad for the
3
warrior.
fall back a little
Well,
bit.
the
Yeah,
warrior,
Nightmare
and the druid, well, they only need enough alacrity to last the phase, right? And then once they
The warrior
stop
wants
the phase,
alacrity.
I mean,
Drew doesn't care.
the BS is purely there to buff the damage of the rest of the
right? But my point still stands is that if they only need 30 seconds worth of alacrity, they don't need They don't need that much extension.
Tempest?
Yeah.
So we're gonna.
Well,
start
extension is
seeing-
the wrong
oh,
word for it, but
What? We're not. Oh man, we're not any island POVs. Please, 20%. Let's see it.
So
I
3% is coming back.
don't. There we go.
Here comes 20%, and we got a port.
I mean, that's the
So
standard port.
something that they do well, and you won't see this in pugs, is it seemed like and maybe they were communicating in Discord, but people just got on buttons right away. It didn't matter who was ported. They just people just spread out immediately and went to buttons. In a pug group, you'll see a lot of lost time there to everybody just kind of standing still trying to figure out who gets on the button, who's going to be on the shard.
That's a huge communication thing, just
Two
like
new
having
records.
being in comms.
Patch record for Doom and world record for Xera. Interesting.
Wicked. Nice job, 17. Good kill. Good kill.
17 of 8 is for you. What did you expect?
Yeah, good job, 17. Good old leave squad hover at the end. Yeah, you got to get back in for another poll.
So with that is season 2 fall split round 3, and we have all of our points here, and nobody reached 200 points this time because the fight for first place did occur between
Because
17
they used
and
the
Downstairs
band
Cox.
class Power Chrono. I'm just kidding. Not banned. I hate Power Chrono.
You can go upload your logs now, Linka says.
Did I not? You can upload the log. Sorry, I thought.
17. I mean,
I'm going to push these buttons just in case I forgot to hit the buttons.
like
Are the scores wrong?
What?
the scores aren't wrong. I don't think.
No, I
I
caught
didn't
them.
do the math myself.
This is just for this month. This is not.
Yeah, this is just for this month.
This isn't the overall scores, guys. This is just Doom, Xera, and then the total for
Wipes
this.
they're saying Wipes missing points. 90
UF is missing points.
I will fix
Oh,
that.
dear.
I will fix that for the upload then for sure. I'll fix that for the upload. But we have our team progression for every team that has participated.
I still think this chart's really cool because you get to see some teams that like really kind of shoot up the ranks and stuff.
Feels bad, no PB.
I mean, keck.
We died.
I mean, that was ANET's decision for the precast
No.
thing, wasn't it? Or did you guys just...
Well,
There
no.
was other stuff. But
Personal,
yeah.
well, personal best is about to break up anyway. A few of our players went to win. I think Reese and Cody play with you guys. But yeah, we after the precast change, like half of our members just said, "Fuck it, we're done."
Well,
Right, he's
like I
used
said,
his limits
these
on the
are
F
these,
word.
these are all the
Come
teams, and
on.
you can really see the progression for some of these teams. But
Wait,
in
the
case it's not
accident.
clear,
Wait, you know,
Yeah, I
did
think
someone say we're not allowed to swear?
No
we're
clue.
You're not allowed to
PG-13.
swear.
Everyone
this
gets
is
one.
an Ireland partnered show.
We're
swear.
PG-13. Everyone gets
Are you
one.
serious, Sam? Are you serious?
PG-13. Naturally.
Everyone gets one.
I'm not even joking, actually. I'm quite serious
yeah.
right now.
Oh,
Everyone gets
crap.
one.
It's fine, though. You know, a little bit.
Ross not gonna be back, guys.
I-
They're gonna
It's
come
okay,
back.
it's okay.
They're gonna say,
I think
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
Anyways,
I think
here's the team
looking-
progression for this entire split. Again, for some of these zeros, some of them are did not finish this, but most of the time, it's if they're not from a certain round, they just didn't participate or weren't participating at the time. So
I think
That's-
just like something to look at is there's like each month you'll see that there are some guilds that on certain bosses they're just really competitive and pushing that gap really close. So it's like it goes to show that like whilst there might be a gap in scores on that total on the end, like it's not really as wide of a gap as it surface.
yeah, for what it's worth, everyone has done very well, and especially because this split particular, we had Deimos, Kadim the Peerless, Samurag, Dhuum, Xera. All of these are actually really hard to get a good grind hour out for.
Forcible.
Yeah.
Gorseval,
There's-
do you have to do the... Gorseval is not one that you have to grind out a pre-event, right?
I will say, everyone in this split did better than me because I was gonna participate with PB, then we didn't, and I didn't want to play. I was done. So you've all done better than me because I didn't play in this ranked league.
Well, that just
You
means
can-
you're free for pickup. Like, there's an NA team here somewhere,
Whoa!
right?
Hey, 17.
That 17 is EU, isn't it?
I have an EU.
Yes. Yeah, but do
I'm
you
just
have
saying.
EU playtime hours?
No. My EU account doesn't even have expansions.
All right. Well, assorted stats and housekeeping. Total number of participants this split has been 286 per average participants per group, 15. So there's a lot of people like switching in and out, and this is kind of what we want to see almost like individual teams having a larger roster, and then you switch out people for what is better, what they're particularly better on, or just like in cases of like you have subs, you have people who are not able to make that particular month or week. Total number of sessions, that's 96. Total number of teams across the board for the entire split is 19. For December, we are tentatively off a month due to holidays, maybe a small meme event if schedules of broadcasting allow it to. But the
Wait a
biggest thing
second.
is we will get right back into the winter split for 2022 in early January, likely January 7th.
I just had a brain blast. I'm sorry, Eva, I didn't mean to interrupt. What if the admin team and the streamer team we all took for the meme month and we all made our own team? Oh my god.
Do we have enough people
Oh my
for that?
god. We could fill in the rest of the spots. We got Aiza, Evo, I don't know
Nope.
if Calder still plays, Crosis, Sam, Aiza, Diaxon, me, and Zoe.
We might
Oh
need
my
to
god.
borrow.
This is a brain
It
blast.
could actually work.
No.
We
Oh
might
my
need to
God,
borrow
brain
account. We
blast.
might need to borrow accounts because I don't have an EU account for sure. So
You'll find what. Well, we might do any.
We
Brain
can
blast.
arrange that. We
Oh
can
my
arrange
god.
wait, technically that's account sharing.
not-
We don't want to get that. No. Hold
Hey,
on.
you have to say
We'll
yes
talk
to
about
this.
that off camera because that's technically account sharing. We
Sorry.
don't.
Sorry.
I'm not raiding in December.
That's also
I mean,
completely
that
fair.
could also be quite hilarious. You know, them commenting on the speedrun attempt in Twitch chat. You know, like streaming. The admins tried to break a record. Could be hilarious.
Oh no.
Anyways, actually, what you're saying, Eva, sorry.
So, anyways, I guess you know what? I'm actually gonna go back here for a second because I totally forgot to point out that this does mean that Dance Cucks are the fall 2021 split champions. So congratulations, everyone! Please clap and give a hand in chat. I'm not gonna clap too close to my mic, so
It was okay. No claps required.
just gonna wait for the
But
stream
yeah,
to
I'm
catch
very
up a little bit.
proud of our team.
There we go. Now the claps are coming in. So like I said, we'll get straight back into the winter split as early as possible. I'm pretty sure we don't want to have the boss draw on the. What is the earliest we can do it? Technically, the earliest would be December 31st, which I don't think is a good idea for anybody. So we'll probably do it on the 7th. Have it again for the week. Enable People Club. I will need to talk to Linka about that, I think. Rules. There was discussion about rules for Season 3, and yes, we have been going on for that long. Feedback will be taken during the December to hash things out. The current admin team is not quitting, but we will be opening up slots to get fresh eyes and blood in, and also I need some support. I need some extra help here and there. So we'll go with that. December is off. So I did mention this in the Discord.
Wait a
and
second.
Maybe
Are you lagging or is it me?
He's back. He's back.
Okay.
Oh shoot! Yeah, I just noticed.
You went robot for about 3 seconds, but you're
Yep.
back.
Sorry, I just noticed. I
Stream's
just noticed
fine.
the. I just noticed that on my output stats.
You're fine now though. Stream's stable.
Okay, I'm gonna just mention to refresh just in case, and this will be up in the. Hopefully, it'll be caught in the VOD in the first place. December, as I mentioned in the Discord, maybe there's an opportunity to do something with the all 9 EOD beta specs coming out in the next 2 weeks. We'll have to do something really quick for that. I am aware that there will only be 5 days for that, so that will not be a prized thing. That will just be if people want to do it, I can make a draw for it, and then we can maybe do a broadcast or just save it for the next time around. With that, we'll go on to the thank yous for this split. Thank you to Sam for always being available to host the show. The irony of
Jesus,
today.
that's such a low blow because I was so late.
It's
today.
completely
I'll take
ironic.
it. You know
I had
what?
written this
will
before.
take it.
I had written this before, so.
Okay,
But thank you,
so
Sam,
be
for
it.
always being able to host. Otherwise, probably with better.
Thank you.
Thank you to Good Life for the automation and tech support on the bot. Thanks to Isaac Craw and Diaxon for the analyst desk for this split. Hopefully, we'll have Muru back as well, and then we can switch you guys in and out so we're not always having everyone on at the same time. Thank you, Croesus, for the updates
I
on the
love
website.
IS and DX. Please don't make me
Isa and
them.
the accent best duo. You can't separate them, okay? We can have
I will
Muru
be-
in, but
I'll be a duo with Muru. I'll be a duo with Muru. Okay, Muru, if you're listening right now, we're the duo. Okay, you and me.
All right, thank you. Thank
Anyone
you for...
anyone ever think to ask if Diaxon and I want to be separated?
Nope.
Do you?
Thanks to Croesus for the
Nice.
updates on the websites. Thanks to Charam for the server and the URL ownership. And thank you to Caldor for coming up with this all those years ago. And thanks to you, the participants, for keeping the Rid League going on for all these years. And we can actually say that unironically. We are coming up on 3 years since Season 0.
I remember when I signed up for that.
And with that,
On
there
that
are...
matter, I wanted to add just a little something. I was approached by someone from Snowcrows a few weeks back with some ideas to spice up some of the encounters, such as added rules. You guys might have watched some other raid tournaments or events in which such rules could have been applied, and that is just to say that at the raiding league we've been like observing these ideas, and maybe we could spice up a little bit of the encounters so that they don't all feel too stale.
Well,
and also,
we can have that as part of the feedback discussions. So, like I said, we'll open a channel to get rules, etc., and feedback.
and also another point is eventually, since we're like closing in on the end of the second season, we're gonna get EOD soon, and with EOD we're gonna get challenge mode for the strike missions. This could also prove to be good encounter material eventually. So if we could also open up a little bit of a survey or some like popular answers to that inquiry, that could be a good idea.
I will touch on that now, actually, because
You go
the
on.
anticipated release date of End of Dragons was February 22nd, if I recall.
Yes.
So, with that said, as I mentioned, we're looking at January 7th as the first return date, and then if we do the usual 1 month thing, the next date will be the 4th, and then the next date after the 4th of February, sorry, and then the date after that would be March the 4th. Supposedly, and now this is like complete hearsay on my part, but I heard that the CMs won't be available the week of release. The week of release being the 22nd. So there is a full 2 weeks that we won't have any quote-unquote challenge mode content for us to work with in the first place. So it's very likely that that we'll have just a standard stuff for the first split of 2022. But for sure, once we're into April, May, June for the spring split, that is 100% going to be. We're going to force End of Dragons content.
Surely. Like, I'm pretty sure that it's actually going to be quite nice. Like, I'm looking forward to everything that End of Dragon is going to bring. And in terms of hardcore content, although we've not been expecting much, to be very honest, and I think that's a sentiment all the players share together, there is still some bright days ahead, and hopefully we're going to get a lot more stuff to showcase on the Raiding League than just the same usual encounters. Because sometimes a little bit of a different show also helps.
Even if we have the same encounters, we'll definitely have new classes to play around with. So get ready, Jackson, for your 10-man warrior compositions, eh?
I mean, no thanks.
But
like
Blade
loads.
Sworn 10-man, big damage. Come on.
You guys are all
Easy
sleeping on
for-
it. When ArenaNet changes the classes, Vindicator will be the meta power class.
I've never
feel
heard
vindicated.
wishful thinking out loud before.
I'm gonna feel so vindicated.
Please don't, Isa. Please redeem yourself.
Huh? What?
That wasn't
Wait,
Isa.
what? That wasn't Isa. Jesus.
What did I do wrong?
Nothing.
My brain has melted.
Isa.
I'm sorry.
It's usually me doing something wrong, so you
You
can
know,
blame me.
Isa.
That's the win. It's
No,
the win
no, no, no,
motto.
no. No, I will, I will actually catch that bullet as it's flying to you and redirect it to Kra.
All right. Again,
Wow.
thank you very much.
As it should be.
I'm gonna leave the chat open just for a little bit longer. I don't think we have any questions. And again, if you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, everything is reachable on our socials. Discord is the main way that we're checking stuff out. And with that, Linka, I believe you have control on the raid, so go ahead whenever you are ready. And I will leave.
I'll
Whenever
pop
he's
out. Thank you
ready.
guys to the rating
I gotta
league.
drop as well. Have fun, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna be off as well. Take care, everyone.
Have a good night, guys.
Have a good weekend.
GG.
Take care.